get to the show, just want to remind you guys about some exciting things. Live shows. Chicago, Illinois, December 14th at Lincoln Hall. Get your tickets at lh-st.com. Please do that. Come out and see us there. It's going to be so much fun. Both shows, Small Town Murder and Crime in Sports.
Yes.
Come see one or both of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. Also, Boston at Laugh Boston, February the 18th. Again, Small Town Murder and Crime in Sports. Both shows, one night. Laugh Boston. Get your tickets at laughboston.com. And then a special stand-up show.
So
with
good.
The two of us, the Jimmies, James and Jimmie, and Dan Cummins as the headliner.
Dan Cummins!
In Detroit.
Michigan.
February the 16th. That is a stand-up show. Get your tickets now. And if that show sells fast, guess what, guys? We're going to add a late show, and it's going to be a special kind of a podcast with the three of us on it. It's going to be amazing. Guys, get your tickets for one or all. Travel around the country. We don't care. Treat us like the Grateful Dead. Come see us, guys, please.
Now let's get this show going.
This week, we look into the frontier town of Scottsbluff, Nebraska, where one person's jealousy led to one of the most horrific scenes imaginable. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yeah!
Oh, you nailed it, Jimmy. That's a bullseye. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Oh, yay, indeed, Jimmy. We're super excited to be here. Sorry for making you laugh right before I pressed record, but let's get this started right with that. Thank you,
with
folks.
With the dead inside, James.
That's right. I am dead inside. That is true. That's what's making Jimmy cackle, that I said I was dead inside and then hit record. So that's good. And I am, but that's fine. Moving on. Thank you, folks, so much for not only joining us. Have to thank you guys for all of your amazing iTunes reviews this week. They've been awesome as usual. You guys come through for us like crazy. I'm telling you guys, we love doing this because you have made us feel like we're doing something that you like.
That's true.
As a comic, you just want to feel like you're doing something that people enjoy, obviously.
Yeah.
And with comedy, you stand up there, you tell a joke, and then you get either a laugh or they stare at you like you're an asshole.
Right.
You get one of those two
you get
responses.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, you do a podcast, we might think it's good, but then you put it out and you go, eh? And you don't know. So thank you guys.
Anybody?
Those reviews mean the world to us on a personal level, but more importantly, they mean the world to us on a business level. iTunes is a weird algorithm that counts those very heavily, so it really means a lot to get on iTunes and give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. You can tell us anything. Tell us your favorite style of hat, and we'll be like, yes, I enjoy
cowboy hats.
I enjoy top hats. Yes, I do. A big Abe Lincoln stovepipe. That's perfect. We'll be happy with that. That's great. But it is on the business end, and it helps out a lot. A lot of you guys, like we're going to give a list of producers later, have done even more than that, and you guys are incredible. These people have gone to patreon.com/crimeinsports.
They did.
That's the name of our other podcast. That's why that's like that. All that money goes to us. But you make a donation there, and I can't tell you how much it's appreciated, really, honestly. Every dollar, every dime is just means the world to us. It really does. Yeah. And if you want to make a one-time donation, you can go over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, and you can make a one-time donation there. And God, like I said, I mean, people have given us $1, and that's amazing to us. Yeah. We don't look at that and go, oh, $1, what are we going to do with that? We look at that and go, oh my God, that person took the time to give us $1. Like, that's so cool of them and nice of them. So thank you guys for that so much, honestly. Before we get to the show, and it is a doozy today.
Really?
We have a crazy case today we'll get into. One thing before that we have to do is the disclaimer, obviously. Guys, it's a comedy podcast, everybody.
That's the truth.
It's a comedy podcast. We're stand-up comedians, as we've just mentioned.
Right.
We're going to make jokes. There's going to be jokes involved in the show. It's going to happen. I promise you, though, we never make jokes at the expense of the victims or the victim's family. No. It's not that bad. We give this warning. It's not that bad.
Why do I laugh every time?
Well, it's true, because I say this.
It's not that bad.
I give this warning, and I feel like people are like, oh, my God, they're going to be making jokes about horrible things. And it's not even like that, but just to inoculate ourselves against complaints that there is jokes at all, that there are any jokes in here, we have to tell you this. It's if you think that true crime and comedy do not belong together at all, then this probably isn't for you.
Right.
And unsubscribe.
I'd rather
Thanks
not
for trying.
even try to prove you wrong.
Yeah, thanks
Right.
for trying. Have a good one. But other than that, we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. It's fine.
That's what it is.
We're gonna have a lot of
We're
fun.
gonna make fun of a dumb rodeo, a dumb song with a Zuzu
Exactly.
rodeo in it,
And
for half an hour.
that's going to be how it works. And with that said, let's get to it, guys.
do
What
it.
do you say? Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
Okay.
What do you say? Got your bags packed?
No.
Everything ready? No? Don't leave your
The wife
toothbrush on
didn't
the counter.
She
Don't
didn't
do that.
do
Grab
laundry
it.
again.
No.
I'm just going to go in
Do
this.
your own laundry.
I'll
What's
just go
wrong
in
with you?
this.
Do
I'll
your
just
own
go
guys.
in this.
All right, just go
It's
in
the
that.
PJs.
Fine.
Let's
Grab an
go.
overnight bag. It's not that exciting anyway. There's not going to be a lot of going out,
No?
so don't worry about
All
that.
right.
We're heading from Vermont
Yeah.
down to Nebraska. Going to the center of the, well, not really down, over, to the center of the country.
Lovely this time of year.
Oh, not lovely at all this time of year, especially where this particular part of Nebraska. It's Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Okay.
It is the far western part of the state. It's in the panhandle part of the state. Never a good part of the state.
No.
If try
There's
to
no state with a good panhandle.
no, try to get
None
to
of
the
them.
main pan, everybody. Just get to the pan because the handle sucks.
The handle's
Florida,
always,
Texas, it's never Oklahoma. These are never good handles
It's
to be
always
in.
got sticky egg on it, and it's gross.
It's a dust bowl or a swamp or something horrible like that.
I'm using cooking terms. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. This is in Scottsbluff County.
Okay.
Odd though, the town is Scottsbluff, one word, and the county is Scottsbluff, two words. So that makes no sense at all. It's
Right.
named after a Scots bluff, but I don't understand
It's
why
some
they do
bluff
that.
somewhere named after Scott.
Yeah, right in Scottsbluff, as a matter of fact. The county it's in is
So
in,
fucking
so it's
surprising.
amazing.
Wow.
Aren't you shocked? Surprising to me too. The county it's in is in the far western part of the Panhandle. It borders Wyoming. This county over here. It's dead center of the county. This town. Zip code 69361. Area code 308. It's a decent sized little town. 6.27 square miles.
It's fun when you do geography because I just started thinking, and I didn't realize that Nebraska was that far north.
Yeah, Nebraska's
That's crazy.
north. It's above Kansas and
Kansas,
Oklahoma.
yeah.
Just below
and
South
Oklahoma.
Dakota.
Wow,
Yeah.
holy shit!
It
It's
borders
way
South
up there.
Dakota. Yeah, absolutely.
It snows in Nebraska.
Shit, yeah, it snows
Fuck
in
yeah.
Nebraska. Yeah,
Wow.
this is a rough. This is like where people died on the frontier. We're going to talk about.
It's like it's surprising how fucked their weather is.
Well, they mention a town here. Actually, this is what made me think of this. They mention a town that in my reading, and I'm like, oh, that's on Oregon Trail, the game. And I'm like, holy shit, people die of dysentery here. This is terrible. People shit themselves
this is
to
where
death
little
in this
Jacob
town.
got bit by a rattlesnake.
Oh, this is terrible. Poor little Jacob. The town does not have a slogan, but the county has a slogan.
Oh, really?
So since they're named the same thing, we're going to go with that
I like
shit.
that.
County slogan, Nebraska, like you've never seen it.
What the fuck?
In other words, not as a blur as you drive through it at 75 miles an hour. That's as you've never
Nebraska,
seen
like
it.
you've never seen it because nobody ever sees
No
this
one's
shit.
ever seen it unless it's in a blur going 75 miles an hour. And he goes, "That wheat? I don't know. We're in Wyoming now. Fuck
it was
it."
in Scottsbluff. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's Scottsbluff, founded in 1899 officially. It's across the North Platte River from the bluff that is known as Scottsbluff. It's Scottsbluff National Monument at this point. It's a national park.
There's a shitload of things up there named Platte.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of Platts.
I'm going to have to do some investigation
on the Platte.
one day of why the fuck that is.
On the
or
Platte
I'll just
thing.
wait for everybody to start tweeting me.
Don't
Matter
worry.
of fact, here's an article.
By Friday, we'll have 4,000
I'll know
tweets
so
about
much
Platte.
about Platte.
And we don't give a shit about Platte,
Who
but
the
that's
fuck
fine.
Platte was.
This monument here is named after Hiram Scott. He was a guy who actually died at the age of 23.
Yeah.
He was a fur trader with the Rocky Mountain Fur Company, and they found him dead at the bottom of there when his party went up for a fur expedition. Yeah,
That's
apparently
dark as fuck.
he died, as according to the town website, he died alone and deserted by his companions at the base of the magnificent formation of bluffs.
Beautiful.
That is terrible. So it became Scott's Bluff after
so
that.
fucking dark.
Don't mess up like Scott.
Yeah.
Wow, they had a smaller town of Gehring nearby. It's south of the river. That was founded in 1887, and the two cities have kind of been merging together as they grow. You know, the suburbs kind of grow. Not that
As
they're
they do.
suburbs.
Right.
It's not that big of a place, but no.
It's just the town expanding.
Yeah, it's Scottsbluff County was originally part of Cheyenne County, which included like pretty much most of the Panhandle.
Yeah.
But homesteaders started to come out to western Nebraska in the late 1880s.
Okay.
Apparently, in the plains here, there was a bunch of bad winters that really messed up the open cattle range industry. So the people started going west more and just kind of moving away from places. There's cattle problems, Jimmy.
You know,
this happens.
I mean, these free rangers.
Jesus Christ.
Free grazers.
I got to tell you, Jimmy, the reason I started comedy was just all these cattle issues.
Yeah.
I had about 50
It
head.
forced me out.
I had about 50 head, but the issues with them, I said, you know what, you guys are on your own. I opened the gate, I let them go. I didn't care anymore, man. Just let them go.
Sweet Christ.
In 1888, they had an election and ended up creating Scottsbluff, which is the county, and several other counties in the Panhandle to separate themselves from the Cheyenne Cheyenne bullshit. Yeah. We have nothing to do with these Cheyenne assholes. Scottsbluff was laid
they're
out
on the fucking border of Wyoming. That Cheyenne shit is
it's
all
right
over.
There.
Everything in Wyoming is named after Cheyenne.
And there's nothing.
The Cheyenne Mountain Range.
They're not near anything in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So like they go to Wyoming when they're going to the city. They go to Cheyenne.
Okay.
That's the city to
all
them.
Right.
Like we're going over to Cheyenne, not to Lincoln or to Omaha, which I don't go to Lincoln or Omaha because they're terrible places.
Cheyenne, be thankful that all these people are coming to you and spending their money there. Stop being such dicks.
And I apologize, Omaha, because I don't know anything about Omaha. I've never been there. Lincoln, horrible place. horrible place. It was laid out, the town, in 1889 or 1899 when they extended the railroad to that. They're like, now we know where the tracks are. Let's lay this shit out. Before white people were there, it was the Lakota lived there. The Lakota tribe,
many.
Teton Sioux.
Yep.
They were some bad motherfuckers. Man.
Really?
Yeah, do look up the Lakota tribe and the Teton Sioux. They were a really fierce, didn't take any shit tribes, man. Yeah, they were badass up there. So check them out. A lot of interesting stories about them. I'm big into the West shit like that.
I love the Native Americans of that region. Like all
Ken
those
Burns, The West, that the documentary, The West, that was on PBS. Really? It's like an 8-parter.
Ken Burns did it and covered all.
Yeah,
those,
I think it's actually his brother Rick, but Ken produces it. It's just like Ken Burns shit.
Right.
It's amazing.
I'm in.
About the whole history of the West. It's awesome. So now that we've bored you with that, in 1910 there was 1,746 people here.
Really?
By 1910, by 1920, just 10 years later, there was 7,000 people.
Holy
here.
shit!
So this place blew up. It's a 296% increase.
Is it beautiful?
In 10 years.
Is it just?
I mean, I guess from a picture, but it's not a place you'd want to go stand in the middle of and go, it's beautiful. Now what? You know what I mean? Now what do I do? It's pictures
There's
are great.
There's got to be shit to do there.
Not really. There's a lot of people from this county actually in this town. Hank Bauer, who was a ball player. Okay. Brooke Behringer, who's the quarterback.
Hilarious.
The shit quarterback. Yeah. Ooh, Miss America 2011.
How about that?
There you go. Graduated from Scottsbluff High and everything, man.
Brutal.
Look at that. Here is a fact that is as dry as a Sahara Desert fart. This is what this fact is. The driest thing I ever. This is how boring. I found this interesting, and I'm like, I have to share this, even though it's the most boring fact ever.
I think that's only the second time in 43 episodes that the word fart has been used.
That's possibly.
But it was Fart Girl and this.
Fart Girl, was that Crime and Sports?
I think that was this.
That might have been this, yeah.
Either way, it's 2 times, and both times I just want to let everybody know. Good, they make me laugh, and it wasn't me.
That's great.
I'm denying the fart.
That's awesome. I am denying.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Here it is. Here's the Sahara Desert fart fact. In Nebraska, in the license plate system in Nebraska, you intrigued already? Scottsbluff County is represented by the prefix 21 since the county had the 21st largest number of registered vehicles when the state's license plate system was established in 1922.
Why did you dig that?
I have no idea because I'm an asshole and I dig up facts and I found that interesting and I'm like,
Jesus.
I wrote it down and I went, no one cares about that. And I went, well, I'll make a joke out of why no one cares about it and I still get to say it. So there you go. Eat shit. You got a fact.
Sahara Desert.
That's it. That's going to be a new feature. The dry Sahara Desert fart fact. It's just the most boring fact I can find. That's coming, folks. You know me. I'll put a new segment in.
That
is
awesome.
So let's get to the people of this town. Population 14,802. It's not bad. It's a pretty good, decent-sized small town here. Median age 35.7, which is about 2 years shy of the national average. So it's a younger crowd.
Sure.
A lot of times when you get these Western places and things where there's it seems like a younger place. It's not built for the old.
Yeah.
I feel like these cold, like open expanse
They're
type
not long
places.
for this world.
They're not. Yeah, they're far from hospitals and
Yeah.
shit. Like they need to be somewhere near a medical facility where they can be shocked back into coherence if there's a problem.
Right.
You know, that's I feel like anyway. More females than males here. Almost 54% female, which is way above the average. Usually about 51-49. Married population's actually lower.
Okay.
Usually when it's funny, but usually when we have a male more heavily populated with males, we get a lower marriage rate, which is strange. But here it's more heavily populated with females and a lower marriage rate than normal, which is
they're not having it.
Honestly, it's just an odd fact. I don't know if it means anything, but it's just a weird statistical anomaly.
Those mountain dudes are scum.
Maybe. I think they're dirtbags here. We'll talk about plenty of dirtbags this week as we get into probably the most horrible shit we've covered maybe this week.
A lot of times those country boys are great dudes, but sometimes they're just complete
psychopaths. Sometimes
it's never like a middle of the road guy.
No,
it's either like a salt of the earth sweetheart or a complete fucking lunatic,
or what you'd expect from someone who's been killing animals since they were 4. You know what I mean? No, skin it like this, Bobby.
Yeah.
That's not good to teach a kid. I mean, it's funny because, you know, in environments like, I don't care if you hunt, whatever, but environments like that, that's considered fine.
Right.
But like, we live in Phoenix, and if my son brought home an animal and started skinning it, I would immediately take him to the psychiatrist and he'd be on medication.
Fuck is wrong with this kid?
Yeah, is he? Fuck, man, he's going to be a serial killer. I'd be freaking out. In the West and down South, they're like, good
That's how they
job.
bond.
Took it clean off. Look at that. Took that skin clean off. Nice job. Okay, it's just different culture, whatever, man. Widowed population. Again, it's a younger town, but there's more widows than usual here by about 2%, which is odd. More divorce than normal. So it's volatile. Shit's volatile on the plains, man. That's all I can ascertain out of all this.
Especially up there. Like
it is.
That's just so strange because I know country folks.
Mm-hmm.
I know some quite hillbilly inbred people. I guess not inbred, but I know hillbilly people that live like a very simple lifestyle. That they hunt, they fish, and they're amazing people.
Oh yeah,
and their lives stay together, and they stay with their wife. They keep it all together. But this shit is volatile as fuck.
It's volatile.
They're figuring out how to get out of it.
Somehow they are. They're getting out of it, goddammit. They're moving, they're running away. Race of this town, white is about 65%, which is just about average. That's just about normal. It's almost 63% is normal. 1.07% black. Okay. So not a lot of black people here out on the Western Plains, as you might imagine.
So we still got like 33% to go.
Asian, 1.05%. Okay. They have 2 restaurants and you know, some ancestry from the railroad left over, because I don't see any Asians saying, you know what, San Francisco's nice, but let's go to Scottsbluff, Nebraska. What do you say? That sounds good.
You ever heard of Scottsbluff?
Yeah.
There's no R's in it, though. Well, there's an L.
Oh, Jesus. Andrew, ladies and gentlemen, my partner, Andrew Jackson. That was beautiful. Jesus Christ.
You ever heard of Scottsbluff?
By the way, shit like that, in the first like 25 episodes, I used to cut shit like that out, because I'd be like, people are going to be mad. Now I'm like, no, we're just going to make fun of it because fucking accidents happen and Jimmy doesn't care and he doesn't hate Asians, so it's fucking, it happens. It's just Andrew Jackson. It's fine. So
Jesus Christ.
So the remaining, there's only 1.2% Native American, which I would expect more in that area, but there's no reservation there, so I guess they left.
They pushed on.
Almost 30% Hispanic.
My goodness.
Over 29% Hispanic.
That's fascinating.
It's very fascinating, which I honestly would not expect in that region whatsoever. But
I would never guess that.
Not at all. Religion, 50% of the people are religious there, which is exactly on the nose kind of average. 16.5% Catholic, which
that's
Catholics, the Baptist of the Plains. Yeah. I guess now. Yeah, if you're going to have Hispanic people, you're going to get a lot of Catholics here. 2.41% LDS, so you're going to expect that here. 0.0% Jewish, 0.0% Muslim, as one might imagine. So you know there's going to be horrible things happening just based on the statistics and what we've come to find from the past. Let's see.
In our unscientific,
in our completely just by what we see with these towns,
right?
Any
you don't
small
have a
town.
Muslim, you don't have a Jew. Shit's gonna go
Apparently,
awry.
horrible things are gonna happen based on this. No other statistics.
Legs are breaking and children are dying.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, About 30% are registered as Democrats in this town, 67% as Republicans.
So all the rest of that religion, obviously, are some other form of Christianity.
It's just all Christian. Yeah, other forms of different muddled whatever, just different.
It's muddled. I love that word.
Prespa Methodist, whatever. Apalian. Methodist Apalian. I don't know.
Some executive somewhere of every church.
Presidistapalian. Right. There you go. That's one of those. The unemployment rate here is a little less than the national average, but they have a negative job growth, so that's not terrific here. Yeah, I don't know if it's stagnant out there or what. Median household income here is about $37,800, which is about $15,000 below the national average. Jobs here are pretty standard, actually, across the board. There's more health care, actually, than usual, which is an odd thing here. What I did find, though, is I found some statistics on what these jobs make, what they earn compared to national average, and it's pretty interesting because they're much less. Like, for instance, if you have a computer or math job, what's considered in that region, that genre of job,
of some sort, right?
It is that's different. There's architecture and engineering.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a computer math here, your average, you're going to make about $33,000 a year. Nationally, you're going to make $73,000 a year.
Wow.
And that goes for engineering too. $44,000 a year as compared to $74,000 a year.
What would be the fucking allure of going there?
I mean, well, let's find out here. The cost of living, let's do that. We say 100 is par.
Yeah.
Cost of living here is 87 overall, which is a little lower. But the main thing is housing is a 59.
Okay.
59 in housing. So you get cheap housing. Some of the other stuff, because it's a little rural or a little more expensive, but you get cheap housing. Median home cost here is $110,000. So that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah.
About 25% of the homes are between $100,000 and $150,000. So it's very affordable to live here. And if we've convinced you somehow to move to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, we have for you the Scottsbluff, Nebraska Real Estate Report. All right, there we go. Here, 2-bedroom apartment here goes for about $680 on the whole, which is a catchy little tune. It's about $400 less than the national average. I found us here a 4-bedroom, 2-bath starter home, 1,100 square feet. Not a lot of outdoor space.
4-bedroom,
2-bath, and 1,100 square feet.
How the fuck do you squeeze that in there?
It's squeezed into a neighborhood. There's a house behind it, a house right next to it. Not a lot of outdoor space here, people. This is you got to move in, but not a lot to upkeep either here. That's the other thing. $102,000. This is good for a Golden Girls type situation. You have all the bedrooms and no one has to mow the lawn. It's perfect. So
fantastic.
You can do that. $102,000. That's a very good price. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot house. Very nice yard, nice outdoors. $159,900. Not bad, doable. And then if you want to move in, you want to really be comfortable, kick your feet up. You've been very successful.
Sprawl out.
Now you're going to go here.
You have one of those $30,000 a year math jobs.
You have one of those. Yeah, you're living large. We have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square foot house.
Holy shit.
Very nice exterior, nice house, $273,000. That's a huge house for that price, but you have to live in Nebraska.
Right.
That is the drawback. Things to do, they have the Legacy of the Plains Museum, and I saw a picture of it, and it looks like the bleakest place on earth. It's just this
Legacy of the Plains Museum.
You go in, you look at wheat,
Fuck
and you look at a picture
of
a dead horse. I assume a lot of maybe Native American things, knickknacks.
Scott hung up in there.
Scott's bones are over there. Just a reenactment. They reenact him dying at the base of the mountain, noon every day. It looks like the bleakest place on earth, this place. Does not look fun.
What the fuck is their legacy? I don't get it.
Chimney Rock is nearby. That's Oregon Trail.
Great.
Tons of
that
people.
Is
That's
it.
Oregon
That's
Trail.
right.
Chimney Rock. I got so excited when I saw that. And Facebook page on their things to do for sightseeing. The number 14 thing to do. By the way, there's some not fun shit to do on here. The number 14 thing to do.
I want to hear all 13 things above this.
This is the Region 22 Emergency Management Center.
What the fuck?
I have no idea, but it's just like this bleak government building. Like it looks like a shed.
It's an emergency what?
Emergency Management Center.
They manage emergencies.
It looks like where they put bad kids in school, like where they teach them off in another class in a trailer outside of the real building where they don't even have air conditioning or anything.
Whenever there's a brush fire, everybody assembles there to discuss what their fucking plan of action is.
Crime rates in this town, what we're interested in here, the crime.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Property crime here is almost double the national average.
My God.
They will steal your shit in this town.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because you can get over to Cheyenne in a heartbeat or what the story is.
Skip
but
fucking state lines.
you watch your horse in this town because
no
they're
doubt.
going to steal it, boy. It's a bunch of horse-thieving bastards over here. But violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, assault, is about 40% lower than the national average.
Interesting.
And I was looking at the stats. They've had like one murder since 2011 in this
Really?
town. Yeah, like they had like a breakdown year by year of like 4 rapes this year and 5. Like it's a pretty safe town in general. Basically, it's a nice, safe, boring small town. Is the best way to describe it. But it wasn't so safe or so boring for some people, as we'll get into here.
All right.
Let's start out. Let's go back on our calendars. We're away on a trip. We're in Scottsbluff.
Yeah.
Now let's flip back the calendar, guys. We're traveling across time and land here.
Wind is blowing, lightning is flashing,
there's shit
and the pages
swirling.
of a calendar are just
flying by.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just spinning.
Flying by. We're seeing historical figures pass us. And so we're only going to 1993,
that
so
was
it's
a
not
quick
that
trip.
many historical figures. It's like, Kurt Cobain is going one way and, Allen Iverson another. You're like,
Columbine boys running
Here I
by.
am. Hey, look at them. There they go. Hey, somebody stop those kids. So that's we're in 1993.
Buildings just went back up. That was weird.
Look at that. Well, that's good anyway. We got that going on. Hey, terrific. Good job, guys. Nice structure. Maybe we could reinforce that now this time. Just trust me, okay?
Build a bubble around those.
Just trust me on this one.
Maybe make this a no-fly zone.
This is 93. This is when they tried to knock
Blow
up
the
the World Trade Center the first time.
Right.
Yeah, this was the first time. So they reinforced it after that. But that's not in our scope at all. We're in Nebraska.
Okay.
Biggie's
just rapping about it right now.
That's
good.
all. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And so that lyric is very
Blow up like the World
prescient.
Trade.
Yeah,
That shit's-
So anyway.
That's legit. I like that one.
1993, Patricia Gomez starts a relationship with a young man named Robert Billy.
Okay.
He could be Bobby Billy. That could be this man's name.
Ridiculous.
His friends call him Bobby Billy. That's Bobby Billy.
There goes Bobby Billy.
And then that's not first middle.
No.
That's first and last. Bobby Billy. That's right away. The first thing I read about this story is Bobby Billy here.
You're like,
and
I'm in.
Yeah, Robert Billy. I'm like, I need more. There's a character in here and possibly that goes by Bobby Billy. Holy shit, man. I need to know about all of this. Everything.
In the plains of Nebraska, there's a Bobby Billy.
Bobby Billy?
We got shit to talk about.
What the hell's wrong with his parents?
His parents are assholes.
They're
That's what's wrong with them. Complete dicks.
You could have named him something.
Anything.
Chet. Anything. That's a term. Anything. Chet.
Chester.
At least it's not Bobby Billy.
No, that's awful.
Hey, Bobby Billy. It's Johnny Billy, Bobby Billy, because that's the thing. That's their last name. So if he has brothers, it's going to be Bobby Billy,
Right.
Johnny Billy, Billy Billy. That's a terrible family.
If they named one Billy, I'll kick him in the dick.
If one of them's named William, I swear to Christ, I swear to God, all these people need to die if that's the case. And you know what? I blame you, Scottsbluff, for letting them get away with this.
This is the truth. If that's the problem. You guys need bullies in your town.
If you're yes,
because with a bully, this shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, if there's a guy walking around your town named William Billy, you just go and you hit him right on the back of the head with the heaviest object you can find when he doesn't see anything coming. Now we can't endorse violence, but I think that's putting him out of his own misery. Let's be honest.
Just end it for the poor guy.
For the poor bastard. These two, Bobby Billy and Patricia Gomez, move in together in Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Yeah.
This is a young couple in Scottsbluff.
Yeah.
This is what dreams are made of here, Jimmy, isn't it? This is like you can feel the. They write songs about this type of shit. You move to Scottsbluff with Bobby Billy. It's beautiful, man. It's just beautiful. Billy Joel had some really good piano tunes about this. It's fantastic. 1996, they're together about 3 years at this point, and they have a son.
Oh.
They have a little boy named Adam. So Adam is born here. And
Adam Billy.
Adam Billy. He is Adam. Actually, he's Adam Gomez because they don't get married, and she says, I'm not going to give him your stupid last name that people make fun of.
This is brilliant.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah.
Patricia's smart. We got to say.
She's got some gumption about her. I like it.
She's thinking. Patricia, you're thinking on your feet. That's a good job there. Good job.
My kid's not going to be bullied.
No.
That's what it is, Bobby.
I will name him Gomez.
I will not give him your dumb last name.
Less make funnable than that. So these two, it's a tumultuous relationship, though, as it's a young couple that move in together and have kids. It's things happen. Right. You know what I mean? So by September 1998.
And one of them's name is Bobby Billy.
That's the other thing.
There's going to be problems.
There's going to be problems. There's going to be cops called at some point.
For sure.
Some point the cops are going to go, Bobby, Patricia.
Bobby, please put your pants on, Bobby.
Come on, Bobby. come on
Dumb
now.
Dassey is the cop.
Yeah, he is.
Bobby, please put your pants on.
That's it. You put your pants on. You know
Why
it.
did I have to ask you twice?
That's it, Bobby. Oh, Bobby Billy, you poor bastard. So Bobby Billy moves out of their house in Scottsbluff here in September of 1998. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know what their deal was. Just young love gone awry.
Sure.
We'll call it at this point, rather than anything else.
We're chalking up to the stats in this town that no fucking marriages or relationships last.
That's
so
the
whatever.
other thing too. So we're going to keep it there. Adam, the young son at this point, he's like a year old, 2 years old. He stays with the mother. He stays with Patricia, obviously, because Bobby Billy can't raise a kid. No court's giving a man named Bobby Billy a child to raise. Sorry, no.
I'm the presiding judge White over this case.
Bobby
Please state
Billy?
your name, Bobby Billy. She wins. Case
thank you.
over.
Here, I got the. There you go. That's the case done. The case dismissed. We got a gavel in the mail.
We will give that to her.
This is amazing. Somebody sent us a gavel. Who was it?
Kelsey.
Kelsey sent us a gavel, and engraved on the top is "fuck off."
Yeah,
this is the "you sir may fuck off" gavel. So if you hear that, that's going to be when a judgment is rendered, and we will echo it throughout the land.
And we will send the kids with Miss Gomez instead of Bobby Billy.
Exactly. They have no legal custody arrangement. These two. They didn't go to court and write up papers and say. They were just like, well, you keep them. Right. All right. I'll come see him sometimes. All right. And then that was the end of it right there. That's their legal custody arrangement.
I like it.
I'm gonna come see the boy sometimes. All right. And that's it right there. Done. So
there's a lot of all right being said.
All right. Yeah, I don't feel like these people have a lot of follow-up questions or anything.
Handshake agreements and all right.
Yeah, if you're going out with a guy named Bobby Billy, you don't ask a lot of questions, I feel like. You just kind of go with the flow. You say, all right, that's fine.
The person that should have asked questions was your father, and he didn't ask enough, and you guys are together.
Bobby Billy asks his question, you pregnant? Yeah, all right. That's all he says. All right, moving on. So, Patricia meets another young man named Raymond Mata Jr. We know our history with juniors.
Juniors are no good.
Go by Crime and Sports, our other podcast. An inordinate amount of the criminal athletes have junior in are juniors, and it's really staggering. Honestly, it really is. We haven't encountered that with small town murder.
Not a lot. There's only been a couple.
It's only statistically, it seems like that's an athlete thing.
Right.
Though. That's
you better be a professional in some sort of sport. For it to really affect your life. But it's gonna.
It's gonna.
It's fucking gonna.
Right after Billy Bobby moves out, or Bobby Billy. I like Billy Bobby better. That's a better name for him. If he was Billy Bobby, I could go with it, but not Bobby Billy.
All right.
So Bobby Billy moves out, and pretty much immediately right after that, I mean, she's a young woman. She's finds a young man to date here. Raymond Mata's 26 years old. They begin dating. Now she knows Mata because her best friend Monica is his sister. So she's known the family. She knows Mata well through his sister.
Yeah.
They're best friends. So I mean, you know your best friend's sibling. At that if you're in a small town, especially.
I feel a lot of this girl hooked her up with Raymond.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, I think
Monica had a hand in this.
What about my brother?
Yeah.
Either that, or I think he was just there. And in a small town like this in 1993 or 1998,
drunk in a barn somewhere, and all of a sudden there
wasn't a and online dating at that point
that's a
or
good
anything
point.
like that. You could, as a small town like that, you pretty much had, I'm going to go to the general store and see who's down there. That's about it. And apparently Raymond Mata
is an asshole. So how about Raymond? Where's Raymond?
Raymond was down at the general store picking out some feed, and he. There's no feed.
He's at the tax store.
He's at the tax store there. Yeah. So. She hooks up with him. They get together. In October, Mata moves in. So a month later, Mata's in the house.
My God.
So Raymond is in the house quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know how Bobby Billy feels about all of this.
Not his business.
Possible.
Maybe he said, all right.
Who's moving in? All right. She said, you going to come see the boy this week? All right. That was it. Bobby Billy, that's all he ever says is, all right. You pregnant? All right. All right. He has 3 words in his vocabulary. You pregnant? All right. That's it. That's all he's had to train himself for.
She rolled over in the hay next to Raymond and goes, you want to move in? He goes, all right.
All right. That's what it says. All right. I feel like every question is answered
Everything
with that.
ends with all right.
Later on in court, they just go, do you find the defendant guilty? And a jury foreman stands up and takes a deep breath and clears his throat and holds out the paper and says, all right. And that's the end of it. They ship him off to prison, I think. That's how the system works there. Just picture him getting himself all situated. Okay, man, get my paper, okay. All right. That's the end. I just see it happening in my head. It makes me really happy.
God, it's so beautiful to see, too. It's so you guys are missing it. It's gorgeous.
Missing my awful performance piece over here. Jesus Christ. Bobby Billy on the jury.
Incredible, yeah.
So he moves in there. They're all in there. Mata, it's said, it's because the boy lives there, too, Adam Gomez, the child. Right. He's now, 2.5, 3 years old, going on 3. Raymond's doesn't treat the boy badly, but doesn't really have much interest in him either. It's not his kid, and he's just kind of a dick. He's a 26-year-old guy who goes, all right, when you ask him questions. So he's not real into it. Patricia says that she did feel like he had a resentment for Adam, that Raymond had a resentment for Adam, and thought that he was, quote, in the way all the time. Because, he's a young guy. He wants to bang around with some chick he met down at the general store, and he's like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. Trying to
moisten his tip, and the kid's coming around talking about, I want goldfish.
And a 3-year-old's a handful. A 2 to 3-year-old.
Oh my God!
2
to 3? No. 2 is, by the way, terrible 2s. Go fuck yourself. That's nothing compared to when they're 3. When they're 3,
they can talk back.
That's the problem.
They have thoughts that they form and talk
nightmares.
back. They don't just say no. You can deal with no, but you can't deal with no, and here's why. That's a problem at that point.
They go, no, you're ugly.
And
they
you
say
just go,
things to
all
you.
Right, and you walk away, and you're like, fine, I don't know how to fucking deal with that. So that's what happens.
This is unfair. I can't even punch you for that.
What am I supposed to say? You're ugly? Can you tell your 4-year-old daughter that? No, that can't happen.
They're so much stronger when they're 3 than when they're 2. They break so much shit. My son broke my TV, hammered the fucking screen, and I couldn't even punch him for it. I'm like, this is really this. I don't even get to fight back.
Yeah, it's.
I've got to go return this now and buy a new TV, and he gets to just smile, and he gets more goldfish. This is bullshit.
He gets a new TV too. He's happy with the way this worked out. I think is how that works. Like, this is how I planned it.
Right.
I got a new TV now. All I had to do was break the old one.
Bubble guppies look better on this one.
That's right, man. So by February the 10th, 1999, Raymond Mata moves out of this place. So he's done. So it was a few months in and out. It's a quick relationship, 4 or 5 months. Who cares? No big deal.
That's not even a relationship.
He moved in, so we'll call it a relationship. But other than that, it's not whatever. That same night, Bobby Billy comes over. Bobby Billy comes over to the house. Heard you're single. She said, you want to come over tonight? And he said, all right. And he knew what the fuck that meant. And they do know what it meant because they have sexual relations that night. And I don't care either way who has sex with who, but it's important to the story that you know who's banging who on what day and when.
Got it.
It comes up. We'll say that.
This matters.
It matters.
These
I don't
are
care.
Facts in a case.
I don't care how many guys named Bobby, Jimmy, Johnny, Billy you bang. It doesn't matter to me, but it needs to be known. Okay. So the next day, February 11th, I don't know if this is at the behest of Bobby Billy or friends or whatever, but on February 11th, Patricia obtains a restraining order against Raymond Mata, which is an odd thing, and I don't know if that would have caused some strife with the sister probably too, unless the sister's like, totally, what an asshole.
Because a dick, right.
But I don't think she does that, as we'll find out later on here. But she continues to see Raymond Mata.
How do you do that?
Well, I guess if you don't
break the restraining order,
that's the thing. She files a restraining order. It's it's just young white trash tumultuous. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Sounds young trashy tumultuous love. Just I don't like this one. I'm having to have a restraining order against him, but then I like him, and he's coming over to the trailer, and he said all right. And so it's one of those things. On
lots of Faith Hill songs running through her head about missed love.
I don't know what's going on with people, but
the problem is that there hasn't been Carrie Underwood out yet.
She needs to get angry.
She needs to come out and tell her, go key that motherfucker's car and get over it.
Or just hide from this man. You have a restraining order. Right. Use it. Then again, that doesn't do anything. It's not like she can hold it up and he's going to go
away. She's not over it. That's the problem. She can't just fucking say. She can't leave well enough alone.
Yeah, if he contacted her to initiate this, she didn't call the police. Right. And if she contacted him, then obviously it's different.
It's not how you deal with something when you're scared.
No, it's true. It's not. But like I said, she's young. I can't fault the girl. I can't fault this woman because she's young. And she's young. She's a single mother. I feel like in the middle of Nebraska, I don't know. You got to feel like you're grasping for anything at that point. Straws of any kind. Right. So she sees him on February 14th. Patricia and Raymond Mata have sexual relations here. So they have sex that night. So that's,
3 days.
3 days later or 4 days later, and it's Valentine's Day. Very romantic, I'm sure. I could see the fire Picture the fire, nice dinner, restraining order on the table next to him. You know what I mean? Right there in the middle.
A tire burning.
Food, tire burning, restraining order sitting there. Now that's white trash romance right there. I got to tell you. I think these people are Hispanic, but that's still white trash romance. Bobby Billy's not Hispanic.
You don't have to be white to be white trash.
Oh no, that's the thing. They're white trash as crazy as we found out on Crime and Sports last week. You don't listen to Crime and Sports. You don't have to like sports. Very funny. And we found out that you do not have to be white to be white trash. No. So late February 1999, Patricia realizes she's pregnant. Uh-oh is right. Yeah, that's... Now, this is why I said it's important that we know when she had sex with who
and
what day.
3-day window for her to be pregnant by either dude.
Either guy. So this is not great for everybody involved, I would say, including Patricia.
Right.
That's a scary situation to be in. She tells Monica, her best friend, who then tells Raymond Mata about it. Mata tells Monica to go with Patricia to her doctor's appointment. So Raymond tells his sister, go with Patricia to the doctor's appointment to find out when the child was conceived. Yeah. They're trying to find out a conception date here.
Listen, it's too early, Ray.
They're trying. So
you got to wait till that thing's done and out the oven, and then you do a DNA test. That's how you find out. Otherwise,
well, they are told. I don't know how this doctor nailed it down to such a early, but Patricia was told that the child was conceived between February 7th and 10th, which that is amazing doctoring right there. I don't know how they figured out that.
That kind of fucks both of them.
The 10th is when she had sex with.
I thought you said the 11th.
No, the 11th is the restraining order.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
10th, Bobby Billy. 10th, she had all right sex. Right. Bobby Billy, restraining order on the 11th. Mata sex on the 14th.
Jesus.
There's quite the timeline here. So that's Monica tells Raymond about this. Yeah. He says, all right. He tells Monica, well, guess it's not mine then. That's what he says. This isn't my kid. So that's that, which is probably best if he doesn't have kids, considering how one was in the way anyway.
Yeah, no doubt.
Don't know if he's that great with children in general. So on March 8th, 1999, this is, like a week and a half later, Raymond sees Bobby Billy at a party. Yeah. Okay. Jesus, these small towns, man. Christ. You have these two together at the same party. Why are they?
They both still have Patty's stank on them.
They all know. God, jeez. They all know the same people.
Yeah.
It's just the weird. This one's sister. They're at the same party. That's what's so weird about these small towns. In a city, it's like anonymous, and you have to find. This is like you run into the guy you hate everywhere you go.
Otherwise, you got to log on to Facebook to find him.
Yeah, this is insane. So Raymond sees Bobby Billy at a party and confronts him about Bobby Billy's relationship with Patricia. Okay. Confronts him about it. Hey, were you banging Patricia? And he's like, I guess so. And he's like, well, I am too. Well, I don't know. There was a restraining order on you, so I thought it was fine.
Right.
So the next afternoon, it's weird. All of a sudden, he's pissed off now. Raymond Mata out of nowhere.
I feel like it was a lot more confusing of a conversation, though. It was probably like you banging her? All right.
Yeah, all right. Well, that would have been. It's very hard when both sides are just saying, "All right."
You banging her? All right. You banging her? All right.
I think that's what happened when he found out it wasn't his kid too. He goes, "Not my kid." All right, that's it. Don't care about nothing.
And they just went all right back and forth till they had a beer together.
Yeah. Then someone's nose started bleeding like Stranger Things when 11 is moving objects. And they just sat down and had a beer. Yeah. That's how it goes. They go back and forth. All right. One of their nose starts bleeding. Like one of the kids from the Hawkins lab on Stranger Things. And that's what happens, man.
Oh, my God. That's unbelievable.
So have you watched Stranger Things, by the way?
I saw.
It's fucking great,
No,
man.
I haven't seen it.
You should check it out.
I'll be honest. I haven't seen it, but I've seen
it's really good.
Snippets and clips of it online that I'm fascinated by already. I've heard it's fucking great.
Blown away by the child actors on it. They're amazing for teenagers.
That's what was
really
impressive
good.
to me.
Really good acting for teenagers. Good storytelling. It's just good shit. I thought it was...
The Ghostbusters skit was fucking incredible.
Oh, that was good shit, man. That was really good.
That's the one thing I saw on Halloween. And then there was, a
lot of nods to movies and stuff, but we'll move on from that. But it's very good.
We have a new reference.
That's true. We have 11-style nosebleeds happening here about this. All right. So March 11th, 1999. Man, this timeline here. Patricia and Bobby Billy get together to take Adam to a doctor's appointment, the baby. They were seen by... while they were in town. Again, small town. You're never seen by anybody.
Right.
You could go...
No.
You could cheat on your wife all over town, Jimmy. Nobody would see you.
No.
And
they'd have
And
idea.
we're comics in town, and we've, lots and lots of people have seen our faces, and we'd still see nobody.
Nobody would
we'd
know shit.
Still see nobody that recognizes us at all whatsoever. But in this small town, little different. Bobby, Billy, and Patricia are seen by a friend of Raymond Mata, who then immediately tells Raymond Mata, "Hey, I saw Bobby, Billy, and Patricia together." And he said, "All right," and he stored that in his little pea brain. By the way, Mata's got an IQ of about 85.
Really?
He's got 85 IQ, this guy. So
Jesus.
There's not a lot of nuance here. I think all right is about right, what we got here.
You're probably nailing it.
Yeah, he's like, Forrest Gump with one less shot to the head is all he is. So it's not great. And I don't know why he would be mad about that anyway. They're taking their child to the doctor.
Right.
Maybe he had insurance that she could. He doesn't know how the hell that works or anything like that. Maybe
Also,
he was
it's
going to
not
pay
your
for the
kid.
appointment.
She's not pregnant with your baby anymore.
That's the other thing. You're not even together. Right. She, as a matter of fact, has a restraining order against you, which is the opposite of being together.
You should
honestly,
be thrilled right now.
He is legally not allowed to be near her, never mind in a relationship with her. So Mata here, Raymond Mata, makes repeated attempts to try to get Patricia to come to Monica's house with him. Okay, because he moves into Monica's house at this point. He lives with his sister. So he keeps trying to call Patricia and saying, "Hey, come to Monica's. She does not go. Patricia says, "No, I'm not going over there." Restraining order and all.
Right.
So that evening, Raymond says, "Well, I'll just come to you then."
Oh, boy.
You don't want to come here? All right, I'll come to you.
All
right, exactly. I'll come to you. So he does. He goes over to her house, which, again, restraining order.
Terrible idea.
Call the goddamn cops at this point.
Right.
But I get it. She's trying. I feel like she's scared of him, and she's trying to not
just keep the peace.
Trying to not poke the bear.
Right.
Maybe if I can just yes him and all right him to death here, and he'll go away, and I won't be
all right
murdered.
Him on down the road.
Yeah, I'll just all right him right out the door. Tell your story, all right. And that's it, right there. So
kick all rights.
That's right, man. So she lets him in. Mm-hmm. Adam was watching television. The 3-year-old. He's watching television in the living room, and Raymond tells him to go to bed, sends him to bed. Patricia then falls asleep on the love seat in the living room while her and Mata are watching television. This is the other thing. He didn't come over. They came over to what? Just have an old married couple night in front of the TV?
This is weird.
I could see TV dinners in front of them and shit on trays. And it's very strange. Watching the local news.
Titanic on VHS.
Watching Airwolf reruns or some horse shit like that.
Horrible.
So they're doing that. They're watching TV. She fell asleep. She said that she woke up. And when she woke up, Adam and Raymond Mata were both gone.
What?
They're both gone, and so was the sleeping bag that Adam had been using as a blanket.
No.
Again, when you know you're white trash, when your kid doesn't have an actual blanket, when you're using a sleeping bag as a blanket. So Patricia obviously is like, "Hey, where'd my baby go?" It's a reasonable response, I would say. I don't think she all-righted that situation. No. So she calls Mata on his cell phone. He's got a cell phone in 1998, not bad, or 1999.
It's that voice stream one, that Nokia with the face changing plate.
It's one of those big boys there with an antenna that you can pull up a little bit. I'll get a little better reception. I'll pull this antenna 2 inches out of my phone.
This 2-inch plastic antenna.
That's going to do it.
There's no metal in it.
Nope, not at all. So she calls him. It's 3:37 in the morning.
Okay.
She calls him because that's when she woke up. Raymond tells Patricia, "I don't know where he is."
What?
That's a mighty big coincidence. You two were here. I wake up. Neither of you were here.
You
both
adult.
decided to leave. Maybe you went out to the diner or for a nightcap. You never know.
It's possible.
He wanted some hash browns right now. He was craving them.
Kid wanted some more milk.
We've been smoking weed all night. He was really hungry. He was craving them. I don't know where he went.
He's teaching me new words.
He's teaching me something besides. All right. So Mata comes right over to Patricia's house and tells her that this is what he tells her. I don't know. He's probably with Bobby, Billy, or your mother.
Oh, boy.
They came over in the middle of the night and just took the baby without telling her.
Wake up.
Just picked him up.
What the fuck?
I don't know. That's what happens all the time, right?
That's an explanation from a guy with an 87
I
IQ.
don't know. Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. So she went back to sleep.
What?
That's what I don't get. She said, "All right," and went back to sleep. Your baby's gone.
How do you know?
Okay, this is where I part ways with Patricia as far as I feel bad for her and I understand where she's coming from. At this point, you freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
You go, "I'm calling the cops right fucking now. I want my fucking baby. Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my fucking baby?"
You don't stop saying, "Where's my baby?" until the cops find your baby.
I go out, I get in the car, I go to Bobby Billy's house. I go, "You got the baby?" No. Okay, I go to my mom's house. You got the baby? No. All right. And then I fucking freak out even worse. This is after I've already called the cops.
Unbelievable.
I would freak the fuck. Anybody would freak out if their baby was taken in the middle of the night from their house.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. The kid didn't wander off with a sleeping bag behind him.
And the guy that you have a restraining order on is giving you an explanation of where it's at, and you're just like, okay.
She went back to sleep, and he spends the night.
Oh, boy.
I'll stay, too. Yeah, no problem. She then attempts to contact... The next day, she tries to contact Bobby Billy and her mother, but was unable to even get a hold of them right away. So she's sitting around the next day, like, with the phone, like, well, no answer. I don't know what's on TV. Yeah. Like, Price is Right's on. No, holy shit. What are we doing here? Patricia's mother then calls her and asks how Adam was doing, as grandmothers do, and Patricia tells her mother that she's fine. Patricia
she says he's fine?
He's fine.
What?
I guess she's embarrassed to tell her mother that, I don't know, because I can't find him because he disappeared in the middle of the night. That's why I was calling you earlier.
I'm a terrible mom, and I've lost him.
I've lost my son. And it's not even that's the terrible part. The terrible part is I did nothing immediately to try to find him. That was the thing that was, that's the part that gets me.
And I'm even more terrible mom because I'm telling you he's fine, and I have no fucking idea if he's fine.
I understood letting Mata in. I understood all of that up to that. It's fear, and she's trying to make everything fine, and she's trying to get through it. At that point, you wake up, your kid's gone, you freak out. You don't go back to sleep
your mind.
And allow the guy with the restraining. Oh, God, never mind. Okay, so she tells him she's fine. She then calls Bobby Billy. And Bobby Billy said that Adam's not with me. Oh. If I'm the father, I'm like, you don't know where you're asking if he's with me?
You better fucking find him.
You know me, I wander through there like once a month. I don't know where the fuck he is. I wouldn't take him. Think I'm taking him when I don't legally have to? Oh, wait, we have no actual agreement, so I don't have to ever take him at all. So, So now she calls Monica, her friend here, and says, do you know where my son is? I don't know how she got involved in this situation. Yeah, I grabbed him in the middle of the night.
This is ridiculous.
She says, of course I don't know where he is because why would I know where he is?
I would have no idea where your fucking child is.
Yeah, at this point, Patricia thinks that Adam is with Bobby Billy. She thinks it's Bobby Billy.
She's convinced herself that he has him.
Yeah, because apparently lately Bobby Billy has been complaining about not having enough time with Adam, which I don't know how he could do that with just all right and you pregnant, but he figured it out. He rearranged the words, made little combinations of it.
You all right, pregnant?
Yeah. So she thinks that it's Bobby Billy. She just assumes that I bet the father's got it. Still, I'd want to go over and physically see the child and make sure. I would tell him, I don't care if you have him. If you have him, great. Spend the night with him. But
put
let
him
me
in
know
front of my face.
Let me see him. Yeah. Let me, like a hostage video. Let me see him. So Patricia is now then told by Raymond Mata not to call the police. At this point, she wants to call the police, though, to sort it out. He says, no, don't call the police. Because they can't do anything until after 24 hours anyway.
What?
So,
how did he convince her of that?
Well, that's like an old TV thing. Yeah. Like, missing person can't fucking, can't look for a missing person until they're missing for 12. Yeah, a 3-year-old's missing.
Right now.
Everyone's looking for the 3-year-old. Now. We're having now an Amber Alert going off, and this is right before that,
There's sirens and shit.
This isn't 1973 where they're like, well, he'll turn up. This is 1999 where people would kidnap people, and this is post everything.
This is ridiculous.
This is post Columbine, for Christ's sake.
No
you
doubt.
know what I mean? Like, literal, not that this has anything to do with that.
But people give a shit about kids at this point.
People are scared in the world for their children's safety is what I'm getting at. But she listens, okay? Mm-hmm. She listens. Not only does she listen, she goes with him the next day on Saturday, March 13th.
Now we got 2 days.
She goes with Raymond Mata to Grand Island, Nebraska, as like a little getaway. Leaves town. They don't return to Scottsbluff till Sunday morning, till the next fucking morning. So now she went off on a little vacation while her kid's missing.
She got 3-day window now.
Because, it's like, well, what about the 24 hours? You were away in another town after 24 hours. You didn't call the cops then either.
Why are you not panicked?
What is going on?
Oh, shit.
How can you go relax anywhere? How can you do anything? Wow. So that night, Sunday night, Raymond asks Monica to his sister to go along or to go to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yeah. Okay, that night, Sunday night, go to Cheyenne, Wyoming with Jesse Lopez, who is the father of Monica's son. Okay. This is a lot of baby daddies and things like that. So he says, look, why don't Monica and Jesse, you guys go to Cheyenne. Yeah. He asked them to meet somebody for him. Okay. So I need you guys to go to Cheyenne and meet this guy and pick something up for me and whatever. So they went for some reason and they leave. They leave at 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's a good hour.
I'm going to go drive to Cheyenne now through the plains. I've driven through like Wyoming and shit. You don't drive through there in the middle of the night. There's not much there, and if you break down, you're fucked.
You're completely fucked. fucked.
You're dead as shit.
And you're in the mountains. There's shit up there. There's animals and stuff.
Everywhere. There's
my God.
Goddamn bison walking around or whatever. I don't even know what they are.
And
Buffalo
they're on the fucking road.
Yeah. They have the fence. The whole interstate's fenced.
Oh, really?
In Wyoming. There's
That's
a big
nice.
fence the entire length of the state. And against it, you see buffalo and cattle and
Pushed
horses and
against it.
shit. Yeah. It's hanging out right at the fence. You'd be hit. People, you'd never be able to drive through there. There'd be buffalo bouncing off 18-wheelers left and right. It'd be bedlam over there.
Horrible.
So they leave at 11 p.m. Monica is not able to locate the person that he asked her to meet in Cheyenne.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, they go to Cheyenne and they don't even meet this person. They get home at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my God!
So
somebody's paying for gas.
That's a long trip, round trip. They waited for the person. So now it's Monday, March 15th. She gets home. Monica finds that her sewer line is clogged. She's like, what the fuck? What's going on with my sewer line? It won't, like, the sewer line's clogged. It's backing up. Like, what the hell is going on here? So March 15th, that Monday, Patricia talks to her sister, and her sister comes over to Patricia's house. Raymond is there when her sister gets there. Patricia and Raymond are both there. Patricia decides at this point to call the police and report Adam's disappearance.
Sure.
No shit. Because now they're sisters there, I feel like she feels less scared of Mon, where she's like, okay, I'm going to call it because he's
safety in numbers.
He's not going to kill both of us, I feel like she's saying, which I don't know how true that is, but
he's not going to attack both of us at the same time.
He's probably going to try to act cool if my sister's here, because I don't know if he knows the sister very well, or
maybe she's older and he's scared of her.
Maybe, you never know. Yeah, so I mean, she might be have a little more wherewithal than Patricia as far as how to deal with people. So at this point, she wants to call the police, but Raymond insists that she not call the police until after he leaves. She said, quote, because how I knew he had a warrant for his arrest, just wait till I leave to call. Okay. So he's got warrants too. That's the other thing.
He's got warrants,
restraining orders,
and there's a missing baby, and he doesn't want to be attached to it at all.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there when the cops get there. Right. So 4:00 p.m. on Monday, the cops are finally notified that Adam's missing. My God. What the fuck?
How do you get that far?
Mind-boggling.
Sweet Pete.
Wow, I'm blown away by that. I'm blown away by this is. Oh, Jesus!
How do you not give a shit about your kid that much? Like, my kid is missing for 10 minutes, and I'm
freaking out,
losing it.
What do you think the cops felt when they heard that on the the other end of the phone? He's been missing since when? How old is he? 13? 3? Right. Like 13. He might have run away. Maybe thought he was at his friend's house. 3 is. You need to know where they are every second of all the time. I have a sneaking
suspicion they didn't just go, all right.
And then they just said, never mind. So police go searching for Adam, obviously. They go to Monica's residence to speak to Raymond Mata because Mata lives there now. But at first, they wouldn't answer the door. Monica said that Raymond told her not to answer the door because he's got warrants.
And he's still there.
I got warrants. But they did find, this will come into play later, they find later on a sealed garbage bag in the dumpster behind the residence that we'll talk about. When they did find the bag, and we'll find out how they found the bag and why they found the bag, they tore it open and found Adam's sleeping bag and the clothing he'd been wearing inside the bag.
Okay.
That is not a good sign, by the way. Yeah. The bag also had trash that was from Monica's residence, including a towel and a boning knife that Monica did not remember throwing away. Bad things are happening here. March 16th, next day, a search warrant is obtained for Monica's residence and executed. They had a first search, but the results of the search were suppressed by a district court, so it's a weird thing. Okay. So we'll go with this here. Police suspect Raymond.
Sure.
He's a suspect. Yeah. His stories about his whereabouts are false, too. His alibis are not great when they just talk to him immediately here. While this is going on, a couple days after the disappearance, Raymond and Patricia are seen in Torrington, Wyoming, which this was the Sunday. Yeah. Somehow they went through Wyoming to do something here. The Torrington law enforcement officials denied a request by law enforcement to send body recovering divers to a small lake where the pair had been spotted. Because they said, well, they were in town that Sunday. We want to search your town and make sure there's no toddler body in it anywhere. They wouldn't do the divers. They wouldn't do that. So what they do is they call the FBI. Yeah. They have a guy here named Ron Rawalt. And Ron Rawalt is a badass kind of special. He's an FBI special agent. He comes in. He reviews the background of the individuals, their relationships, everything else. you name it. He's just he's the guy that's going to come in and figure this whole thing out here.
Okay.
He makes a timeline to the whole thing. He finds some possible gang ties in Mata's thing too that's in here. That has nothing to do with this, but he's just looking at people's shit here.
There's Nebraska gangs?
Apparently so.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I remember the old HBO documentary. They had him in Little Rock. Why not Nebraska?
Yeah.
Before he even gets to Scottsbluff, he's in North Platte. They call him on the phone. He asks the police officer, hey, by the way, the trash and everybody involved, their trash, has that all been searched? And they said no. They were focused on looking for the body, and they said they've been up for 2 days looking for. This is a small town police force, not equipped to look for a dead toddler and figure out a system or figure out a suspect and all this. They had not thought of even searching the dumpsters here.
Really?
But at that point they go, and that's when they find the bag.
It's like the first thing I think of.
Yeah, find what they've thrown out. But they were just like searching for the body. They didn't even think. But I would look in the body for a dumpster for the body if I was looking for a body. Actually, it was garbage day too, so they had to call and stop the sanitation crew from picking anything up. Yeah, they were lucky because they said it would have been within an hour they would have dumped the dumpster
everything.
here. The Ron Rewalt here says, quote, I was fresh and could offer secondary opinions. They were tired. I told them to get some sleep. It's easy to miss evidence in that condition.
Definitely.
Which makes sense. I always think of that when you see shows and stuff where homicide detectives are up for 2 days doing something. You're like, how are you making any sense of anything after 2 days? I can't. I tried when we were in L.A., I tried to make notes at night about small town murder, and the next morning it didn't make any sense because I'd been up for 2 days. I just didn't make any sense. I didn't understand it. I had to redo my notes. It was terrible.
Had to get back into that state to be able to understand what the fuck you wrote.
Yeah, I had no clue what was going on here. So while the warrant is executed at Monica's place, while they're searching everything, the police take Mata to the police station. To talk to him a little bit here. When they entered, they handcuffed him. When they entered the house, just to see what was going on and who was there and whatever. They end up removing the handcuffs, and they ask him to come to the police station to be interviewed. So he's interviewed by Robert Kinsey, who's a Scottsbluff Police Department guy who I don't know how many homicide interrogations this guy takes place in.
Probably very few.
And also Ron Rewalt is sitting in there, the
that's
FBI
great.
guy. I feel more comfortable with him in there. I feel like he has experience here. They say they asked him to come voluntarily. They repeatedly told him that he was not under arrest. They told him that they, quote, needed to interview him, but they didn't tell him, you're under arrest. They said they needed a place to talk to him to do the interview, and they couldn't do it at the house because the search warrant was being served. He's not under arrest. You don't have to come with us at all, but they would like you to come with me here.
Also, too, it's going to look really shitty if you don't go.
If you say no, exactly, and that's how they made it look. Like, look, we just really need to talk to you. He's not given Miranda warnings at the time at all here. Any subsequent time, he's not given Miranda warnings at any point in this day here. Rewalt says once they got to the police station, the interview room door was left unlocked. They told Mata that the door is unlocked. He's free to leave at any time. He's not trapped in here. They questioned him regarding the timeline, the sequence of events, the whole deal. They asked Mata what they thought might have happened to Adam. He became seriously evasive about anything that has to do with Adam. At one point he said, quote, I don't want to answer no more questions.
Wow.
So he got very, very evasive. They continued to question him, though, even after he said he didn't, but there's no Miranda, so...
Whatever.
There's no right to invoke because they haven't given you the right yet, even though
the door's open. If you don't want to hear anymore, go. Yes, but otherwise we're going to keep asking questions.
Yeah, this is his gray. Last week we had a gray area in the Miranda, and we have it again this week, and this is an even grayer area here. They continue to question him, and he said specifically, hey, man, I will plead the fifth right now, man. That's what he says. So they kept questioning him more anyway because he never said, I'm leaving.
Right, or I want a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the interview, they ask him to take his boots off. The exact words were Rewalt told him to, quote, go ahead and take off those boots, and asked if he could make a call for someone, asked if he could make a call for Mata for someone to come pick him up. So they take his boots. Mata calls for a ride. They say that Mata had no problem with the request for his boots and immediately took them off and gave them to the officer. So that was... No, didn't make a big deal out of it.
Some gangster-ass shakedown.
That is, man.
Size boots are those.
Yeah, just get them boots off. But yeah, it was like a ghetto robbery or something. Give me them Jordans, and they pull them off his feet.
Give me those Timberlands, boy.
So they do a little testing on the boots, and they find Adam's blood on the boots.
Really?
That's a pretty damning piece of evidence here. Raymond's mother, Yanez Cruz, picked him up from the police station, dropped him off at a friend's house, and went with Monica to retrieve some clothes for Monica from the house. Now, the home is being searched, and the police ask Monica to remove a dog from the residence because there's a dog there. Yeah. Monica and the mother, Cruz, took the dog and also picked up Raymond from the friend's house here. Mm-hmm. His mother said that they were going to a nearby town, and Mata was talking to the dog, being nice to it, and saying that it was being well taken care of, and that it was, the dog's my friend, and I've been taking care of the dog, and I've been feeding it, and he's just like dicking around with the dog, petting the dog in the back seat or whatever. Strange, weird behavior. The next day, after they asked that the dog be removed, Rawalt spoke to Monica and said that the police had decided to x-ray the dog and that the dog might be euthanized. Monica said that the dog was at her mom's house. Monica said to Rawalt, quote, go ahead and take the dog, check the dog, and then I don't want the dog back.
What?
She's like, I don't even want the dog.
I'm confused. Why do we need to x-ray it?
Well, we'll see in a second here. So police...
We need to x-ray it. It may need to be euthanized.
From the x-ray here. So police took the dog to be x-rayed, and a bone was seen in the digestive tract of the dog. It was determined that the only way to retrieve the bone was to euthanize the dog. That's why they did it. Now, let's talk about the results of the search, okay? The results of the search, police find in Monica's basement where Mata lives, where Raymond lives, they find human remains. That is not great. In the ceiling, in the acoustic ceiling tiles, wrapped in plastic and duct tape, they find a crushed human skull. Wow. A dismembered, crushed, packaged human skull in the ceiling. Okay. Wow. This is next level shit. Yeah. There is a head that's been removed from some body of some kind and is in the...
And Mata's got it.
And wrapped up and duct tape like he's saving it for later.
A package.
Like he's fucking saving it for later. This is weird as shit. So... not only that, and we'll find out how the skull was fractured in several places by blunt force trauma that occurred right at the time of death, they said. The head had been severed from the body by a sharp object at or near the time of death. Let's hope after. No evidence of strangulation could be found, although strangulation, smothering, and blunt force trauma can't be ruled out as causes of death because you never know because there's a goddamn head is off the body. But they don't think so right now. Bad, right?
Yeah.
It gets worse.
The worst.
It gets way worse.
What?
That was bad. This is worse. Let's buckle up, everybody, because this is rough. In the kitchen refrigerator of Monica's house, they find a foil-wrapped package of human flesh.
Wow.
Human flesh wrapped in foil.
Sitting in her fridge.
In the fucking refrigerator.
And she had no idea.
No idea. Or maybe she did.
Yeah.
But, or maybe that's why she went to Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Was, I need you to get out of the house. Or that was an excuse. I don't know what the deal is. But they find a foil-wrapped package of human flesh in a refrigerator.
This is crazy.
After they found a head in the ceiling. This is nuts, man. For a place like this, even Milwaukee was shocked by Dahmer, but this is they're not dicks, but this is worse, I think. When we find out why. Mata's fingerprint is found on the foil.
Okay.
So Raymond's fingerprint is found on the foil. That's not great. If your fingerprint's on a package of human flesh, that's a problem. Sorry. And there's a head right above where you sleep.
Some red flags.
We have a couple of questions we want to get cleared up with you real quick about that.
Hey, we'd like to tell you about this guy Miranda real quick and some rights and warnings.
Let's talk about him. Human remains were also found. I feel so bad saying human remains because we know it's it's an atom, it's a child, and it's a person with a name, and it may, but let's keep it clinical because it's
much easier to deal with.
Yeah, human remains were found on a toilet plunger that was also found to be clogging the sewer line of the residence.
No way.
Worse, Jimmy. It gets worse.
Okay.
Human flesh, both cooked and uncooked, were found in the dog food bowl and in the bag of dog food.
Sweet fucking Pete.
In the dog food bowl.
You put it in the bag, too.
In the bag for later.
He's been feeding this dog.
That's why he was saying, I've been feeding it. We're best friends. We take care of that.
Christ.
That's how sick this fucking guy is he had to do that in front of them. He had to like have his little secret that, they don't know I'm saying that I fed you a child to this fucking dog. That's how sick this motherfucker is.
My Christ.
First of all, what else has this guy done?
Yeah, no doubt.
This is not your first kill. This is not your first kill.
No way.
You don't kill a child. That's the highest risk person you could kill. A child of a known person that knows you, of a house you were at, and then dismember the fucking body. Ugh. If this is a first kill, he is next level.
That's unbelievable.
He's
Thank
next
God
level
they got
serial
him
killer.
first.
Yeah, if that is his first, that is unprecedented crazy for a first fucking kill.
Holy shit.
Even BTK and the most horrible serial killers, their first kill is awkward.
And it's always an animal.
Well, I'm sure he's killed tons of those.
Yeah.
But,
for sure.
Yeah, we've discussed that. So, wow. Also, human bone fragments were recovered from the dog's digestive tract. Human bone fragments.
Jesus.
All of the remains recovered were identified by DNA as Adam's remains. Also, they did find, like we said, Adam's blood on the boots. No blood was found on Adam's clothing or the sheets of Adam's bed at Patricia's house. So this did not happen over there.
No.
Rewalt, the FBI, a longtime career special agent FBI guy, said, quote, "I've never seen anything like it. It is one of the worst crimes I've seen in my career."
Fucking
no
kidding.
shit. He called in the...
He doesn't even have to say that.
No, we know that. I read this and I'm like, how have I never heard about this? How have we never heard about this?
Not?
This guy's feeding a 3-year-old to a fucking dog, and we never heard about this shit. Like, how is this not? Because it's not a dick.
Yeah.
It's not as. It's if it was a dick.
This was March '99.
Yeah, if he had the kid's dick in the fridge, they would have been a huge deal because then it would have been sexual.
Right.
It's just as fucking bad.
It's just as bad.
Oh, I'm disgusted right now by that. So. Yeah, Rewalt calls in a special, the nation's leading pathologist at the time, Richard Rodriguez, he's the guy who concludes that it was a blow to the head that killed him, so they're trying to narrow it down. Now, in court, he is charged with first-degree murder, felony murder, and kidnapping.
Motherfucker.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I wish there was an extra charge for just being the most repulsive piece of shit ever.
Piece of garbage.
It's so weird.
First-degree general piece of garbage.
Yeah, first-degree fuckery. So the prosecuting attorney is a guy named Doug Warner who is opposed to the death penalty, but he makes an exception in this case. He's opposed to the death penalty, has opposed it for years, and he said, this fucking guy, I will kill him myself. I swear to Christ, just put him in the road, I'll back my car over him. I'm done with this asshole.
I'll beat him with something soft until he bleeds out.
Give me that gavel. I'll go over there and crack his fucking skull open, no problem. So, yeah, this is unreal. So that I'm glad he did because, you know what? Like we've said many times, we're not big for the death penalty. And people on Twitter are like, hey, you guys have softened up on it. You seem to like it now. Nope.
No.
Some people, we just want to die.
For sure.
I'm not sure about the way it should happen because I'm not a fucking constitutional scholar or anything.
I really enjoy them to not breathe.
But this fucking guy, I want someone to kill him. I don't care if a guy in prison stabs him. I'm like, great, give that guy a pardon for whatever the fuck he did, unless it was also feeding a 3-year-old to a dog. And then you just go, all right. So... Yeah. So, the court determines, because the first thing they did was try to suppress his statements or anything like that because of no Miranda. The court determined that the interrogation was not custodial. They said that they had a transcript of everything and that he was repeatedly informed that he was free to leave. They kept saying, you don't want to answer questions, you can walk out right now.
Yeah.
Take off right now. However,
look good.
Yeah. He said, however, the court also said, though, that, just him not answering a question is not his trying to stop the interview. That's just he didn't want to answer a question. But they said the tone of the questioning changed and became much more accusatory. And then he said, I'll plead the fifth right now. And that's where it got to be a real gray area.
Okay.
At that point, the court suppresses the statements made by Mata after that. Because they said at that point he was no longer submitting to questioning, but you were still badgering him.
That's fine.
So if you had Mirandized him, you could do that because then he can call for a lawyer, and until the lawyer walks in the room, you can just keep bothering him.
But that evidence, fucking, who gives a shit anyway? When you've got a thumbprint on foil that has a child.
His fucking head is above your bed.
Right.
His head's above your bed.
How'd that get there?
There's a head.
Fuck the interrogation and
Holy
the things
shit.
we asked you there. Put him on the stand and asked him, so how'd a head get above your bed?
Where's your head? Just somebody put that there?
How'd you do that?
Somebody else shove that up there and then put your thumbprint on there?
How'd your thumbprint get on what's left of a kid inside foil in your fridge?
It is.
And how did that kid get inside your best friend?
Your buddy. Yeah, your best friend, like you said here.
That you've been feeding.
Now, Raymond argues on that, and he'll argue later on, that the officers that handcuffed him, that amounted to a functional arrest. And then, it was an interrogation and part of anything. The Mata came to the police station where he was immediately informed he wasn't under arrest, is what the court says. So they allow most of it. Now, at the trial, the forensic pathologist shows slides of child's bone fragments and flesh found in the refrigerator, a skillet that it was cooked in, and a dog dish and the sewer lines.
Yeah.
These slides are pretty damning,
I'm sure.
I would say, to a jury. They're going to look at that and go, well, that doesn't look good.
In a town that small, they've never even heard of this. Forget seen it.
And when there's a 3-year-old dead, you want to find out
now
what the fuck happened.
10 minutes ago.
Right now, how did this work out?
And now back to the show.
Raymond files a motion to not be restrained during the trial, not be shackled or anything like that. His counsel says that if he's restrained, the restraint should be not visible to the jury, like it should be down below. The court says that his arms and wrists and hands could be free, but his legs would be restrained with ankle bracelets, and he would be seated in the court before the jury came in. That's the deal they made. The court did conclude that the restraint should not be visible to the jury. And they worked out that they were going to have skirting placed around the table. Like, they're really doing this to hide his feet. Like, that matters. You found flesh in the fridge with your thumbprint on it. You could be in a goddamn Hannibal Lecter, thing, and people would. You're just as guilty as if you're that, or if you're in a Boy Scout uniform. Just as guilty. You fucking asshole.
So he wants to be in there in just like a suit with just
he just wants to be hanging out, waving at people.
Right.
Going to see the ice cream man. He's got a lot of things to do, Jimmy.
How's about when you've got to go to the bathroom and you've got to get up to go, and like, are they going to take the jury out for you to walk out now? There's so many the logistics of that are stupid.
Turns out during the jury selection process, the record says that Mata was actually brought into the courtroom after the jury panel was present, and he had to walk 15 to 23 feet through the courtroom shackled, and they could have seen him at the time. They did note that the shackles were visible, but they weren't tight and did not impede his walking, basically. It didn't make him look like he was like shuffling along. They didn't do that.
Walk.
Exactly. During the trial, Raymond's defense team says, well, Adam must have been killed at Patricia's. I don't know what happened. I mean, obviously she killed him. I don't trust that Bobby Billy as far as I can throw him. Number one,
I don't blame him for that.
You don't trust a guy named Bobby Billy, so I couldn't have been me. But I will admit though that I did try to dispose of the body. That's a fact. You can't get out of that. They found human remains everywhere. Yeah. You can't just say I don't know anything about it. I came home and there was a head above my in my room. So he says he doesn't deny that. The prosecutor describes, obviously, the killing of Adam as, quote, butchering for the jury, which is...
Fuck yes.
Yeah, and describes the great lengths that Mata went to keep the remains hidden and to keep them there, even with the sewer and the dog. He said that Raymond did this as a way to control Patricia. He said he planned out the murder because Bobby Billy was coming back into Patricia's life, and he felt like that was because... of the kid. So if the kid wasn't there, then they have no reason to be together. I get to do it. I get Patricia, and no kid, and no Bobby Billy. Fucking everybody's happy. That's an
insane thought.
So I'll feed a child to a dog.
Right.
Not go meet somebody
That'll
else.
That'll get us together.
Holy shit. If anybody needed fucking online dating, it's this guy.
No,
let's say no. He shouldn't be online dating. No. A guy in his level of
Holy
loneliness.
shit, that would be terrible.
That would be terrible.
I don't want my daughter meeting this fuck.
I don't want anybody meeting this guy. Anybody at all, except a guy in prison with a big knife. That's about the only thing.
A big boning knife.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. The prosecutor said, quote, "We have a situation where a child was butchered over a period of time. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was an act of revenge." I would agree with that. Raymond says he's not to blame, and they say all of his other problems, it's just his poor upbringing. It's not his fault. His lawyers are like, he's had a tough time. Everyone who's had a tough time kills 3-year-olds, feeds them to dogs. That's normal. Chops their heads off, puts them above their bed. Everyone does that, right?
Had a pretty fucked childhood. Never even once thought about killing a 3-year-old.
How many times have you taken a boning knife and removed a toddler's head? Probably none.
I've wanted to punch my kid,
Christ,
but
man,
I didn't do
so
it.
Angry. No, we've all wanted to punch our kid. You little son of a bitch. But then you walk away. This isn't the 50s, you know? In the 50s, you'd have just socked him right in the mouth.
Knock him the fuck out.
People would have said, that's a good dad.
Kid,
good
he
parent.
deserved it. He was asking for it.
I don't think either one of those things are right, though. think you should be punching your kid either. So anyway, not a huge, long deliberation, as you might imagine here. Jury finds him guilty on all counts.
Wow.
They're asking for more counts they can find him guilty on. Can we find him guilty of anything else?
How about that fuckery charge? Can
Anything.
we give him that?
Did he do, espionage? Did he spy? We'll put a firing squad right now with this asshole. So, wow. Raymond does not make a public statement during the hearing, but he does present a letter to the panel. There's a panel that's going to decide his fate in sentencing, a 3-judge panel.
Okay, judges. Gotcha.
He delivers a letter, says he didn't murder Adam Gomez, but he did assist in the disposal of the body. Yeah. He said it was part of a, quote, desperate attempt to dispose of Adam's body. I panicked and did some things that are unexplainable. What I did was shameful and wrong. I bet $5 million. He didn't write that, by the way.
By the way, unexplainable is not even that word is so just misplaced there.
I would say
that's an unbelievably callous word to use in that situation. What a horrible statement. Read that statement one more time and let's unpack that.
We have the end of it still to do.
Oh, Jesus.
Quote, I don't know what happened, but the fact is Patricia killed Adam. So now not only is he's openly blaming a grieving mother whose baby he killed.
Right.
He said I panicked and did some things that are unexplainable. Okay. I tried to dismember and dispose of a young child's body.
I took a boning knife and beheaded a child. And then chopped that child into the smallest pieces I could get him into. Flushed him down a toilet, cooked some, fed some to a dog, put some in a fridge for later, mind you.
For the dog.
Unexplainable. That's the word you're using?
When I was 5, I was hanging out with this kid.
Yeah.
And it was my mother had a real white trash friend of hers. And the kid was like a little dirty, white trashy kid. Yeah. He was like a year younger than me. He was a hyperactive asshole. And he was running around. And he was just doing shit, like kicking things and just doing and I was just watching him because I'm pretty calm. I'm just like, I've always been this calm, and I'm just watching him. And he goes over to a board. There's a board on the ground with a big nail sticking through it, just sticking up. Yeah. And he goes, check this out, and stomps on it with his foot. So much so that the nail came out the top of his shoe.
Oh, my God.
Okay, right through.
Unexplainable.
That's unexplainable. That's unexplainable. I've thought about this for 35 years. I've never been able to explain this. This is not unexplainable. That's unexplainable. Yeah. What the fuck were you thinking? I don't know. It's unexplainable.
I was passed out under a table in my friend's living room after drinking. They took my keys from me and hid them, but I knew there was a spare key in my truck. I took a rock, broke my window, found my spare key, drove the fuck home.
That's unexplainable. Yeah, that's
I don't know why I did that. I hurt nobody. Unexplainable.
Unexplainable. Jesus Christ. So Mada's mother...
This is not unexplainable.
No, this is very explainable. You're an asshole and a scumbag and a piece of shit.
And deserve to die.
Yes. So his mother, Ms. Cruz here, Yanez Cruz, she testifies in the, for the tries to give mitigating circumstances in the sentencing. She described her life as, quote, hell with her husband. She said he'd been started beating her after 3 years of marriage. He beat the shit out of the kids. He beat the shit out of Raymond. He beat the shit out of Monica. They moved 12 times. The family moved 12 times because he would the husband would find a job and then he'd get drunk and get fired, so they'd have to move again. Yeah.
Why she stayed with him? Unexplainable.
That's unexplainable. That's unexplainable. I don't know in the 50s in Nebraska, how the 60s in Nebraska, or actually it was the 70s, so whatever. Anyway.
Unexplainable.
She said that her family moved so often they never unpacked. She's crying, streaming tears down her. If there's a dead kid, I don't care about this guy's tough upbringing. She said the beatings she received at the hands of her husband were horrible. And one time, the kids were present, huddled around her, and the senior, Mada's father, loaded a pistol and cocked it and said he was going to shoot her while the kids were there.
Wow.
And she said so obviously she was scared. She said the beatings were so regular that one day she saw Raymond pretending to be like her father and pretending to be like his father and act like he was drinking a beer and then saying it was time to beat his wife and begin hitting his older sister. That's him mimicking his father. You break your shit down to like the minimum. Like if your dad's a truck driver, like you'll pretend to steer and like shift and shit like that. That's what your dad does. He's a drunk and a family beater. That's his profession.
Now he's gonna pretend to beat his wife.
Now it's time to beat his wife, and this is ridiculous. His mother then says, quote, "I pray to God that he doesn't get the electric chair. I know he doesn't deserve the death penalty. Like they say, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I feel bad about what happened to Adam, but killing my son won't bring him back."
Okay, Miss Mata. It's a good start.
Can't hurt. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's not going to hurt anything.
Miss Mata,
I don't think
tell me again that part in that story where a 3-year-old was decapitated and chopped into fucking tiny pieces.
Anybody out there in listening land think we need this guy anymore? And I'm not even saying, like, you don't have to believe in the death penalty or anything like that. Anybody would be upset if he just dematerialized,
right.
like fucking gone, poof.
He just became a piece of the Matrix and just went away.
Yeah, so in 2000, June of 2000, they have a 3-judge panel, and they sentence him, should we do it now?
Yes.
You, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty in the electric chair.
Wow.
You're going to the electric chair, mister.
Is that right?
First degree, premeditated, serious fucking hardcore
Child murder.
Yeah. Patricia said that she obviously denied that she had anything to do with the murder of her son. She said,
I don't fucking not believe her.
Yeah, and she said she feels a horrible, crippling guilt over allowing him into the home that night. She says she'll never get over it. She said, quote, "I'll blame myself for the rest of my life," as any mother would. Completely understandable.
She made a lot of mistakes that night.
I would say.
The following 3 days.
And he made way more.
Holy shit.
Oh, boy. And that's the other thing, too. He went, oh, man. He was with her after he did that and acting like, I don't know where your kid is.
Where's your kid?
Whoa, that is fucking next level
Sending
crazy.
people out of the house so that he can be alone with the body to do what he needs to do.
He had to say, he's got an 85 IQ, yet he's setting up all these different things and people, you go over here so I can cut up the body. Wow. So he appeals, obviously, September 2003. He has several points of appeal here. We'll go through them quickly because he has like 10 of them. Number 1, the court failed to suppress all of his statements made during his interrogation. Number 2, they failed to suppress the evidence from his boots because he says they shouldn't have taken his boots. They just asked for him and he gave them to him. That's perfectly fine. They failed to suppress the examination of the dog. He says the dog was taken illegally and it shouldn't have been an examination because there was some question as to the ownership of the dog.
Okay.
It's got kid parts in it. I don't care whose fucking dog it is. I don't care. I like dogs. At this point, there's a child inside of it. Don't care anymore.
Open the dog. Snatch. Pull
I
it
don't
to
care.
Tony. Open the dog.
Yeah, open the dog up
what
now.
What do you mean open dog?
Open it. So they also forced him to wear the shackles at trial. That's the deal here. They overruled his motions to dismiss the charges of felony murder and kidnapping, although he said there was insufficient evidence of those as a matter of law, of the kidnapping and of the premeditation or whatever. And he also says with that the court failed to instruct the jury on the essential elements of kidnapping and felony murder. I think they just looked and said, well, his mother didn't say you could have him, and then you had him, so that's kidnapping. Well, it's just a logical conclusion at that point.
The way it goes.
You took a kid and napped him, so there you go. You got him now.
It's a ridiculous word, kidnap.
Kidnap, it really is.
It should be kidnap.
I would say, yeah, because a kidnap sounds great.
I
wish my kid would nap.
It's the best 3 hours of the day.
Kidnapping is my favorite. When my kid is kidnapping, fucking A, man.
I can't get enough kidnapping.
Yeah. Also, he's saying there's an error in the imposition of the death penalty from a case from 2002, so it's a new precedent from Arizona, actually.
Really?
And he's also saying that the Nebraska death penalty statutes are unconstitutional. They fail to provide adequate direction to the sentencers so as to avoid the arbitrary and capricious application of death in violation of the 8th and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Holy shit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. He's just saying that it's cruel, unusual punishment, I believe is what he's getting at. I believe that's what he's getting at. He said that this is amazing, the aggravating circumstance for his murder was, quote, exceptional depravity. And he says that's, quote, unconstitutionally vague. Your ass, that's exactly the perfect way to describe it. Exceptional depravity. That's actually polite. That's actually fucking polite. It should be the holy shit insects crawling out of this guy's ears because he's got fucking hives and nests in his brain and not brain matter. That's what they should have said. What the fuck, man?
Anytime you put the word depravity in it, that's as specific as it gets. That's not vague. There's nothing that can't lead you any other way other than horrific crime.
Well, listen to this argument of it. The balls on this.
Right.
He says that it's unconstitutionally vague, and that the act of dismembering Adam's body were not, quote, at or near the time of death as required to be an aggravator. He says, I waited till he was dead a while. All right. I waited till he was dead a while, then I cut his head off.
Too much.
Fine.
That's too much.
Imagine going into court and saying that. Imagine that's your argument.
It's ridiculous.
That is your argument to not die.
To stay in prison for the rest of your life instead of die is you waited a while.
Yeah, this is Jesus Christ. Also, he's saying judicial electrocution is unconstitutional under the U.S. and Nebraska constitutions. And the last one is the sentence of death was excessive and disproportionate under the facts of the case.
What part was?
Yes, it is. It is disproportionate. Proportionate would have been a guy comes out and just fucking cut your head off with a broadsword while you're at the defense table. That's proportionate.
No, proportionate.
That's proportionate.
Proportionate would be going back in time and finding him when he was 3 and doing the exact same fucking thing to him. That's proportionate.
Something's proportionate.
Well, you're actually getting the better end of this because you lived for 28 fucking years before you get to die.
That's what they're being kind right now. The decisions on the appeal, the Miranda deal here, he said that basically what they said is they couldn't have not honored his rights because there was no rights given. Yeah. So at that point, they were just a couple guys sitting there. Like it didn't. It wasn't. They called it absent custodial interrogation. So they were absent a custodial interrogation. So his ambiguous answers or his unwillingness to answer questions were not an evocation of his rights. Basically, they say that argument is without merit. Take a hike on that one. The boots. He said that his consent wasn't voluntary. They say that the argument is without merit since they just asked him for him and he gave them to him. They didn't say, as the police, we get to take your boots now as a matter of law. They just said, hey, let me get those boots. And he was like, all right. You can go out on the street. If I say, Jimmy, let me get those shoes. You just gave me your shoes. How is that something bad?
How about no?
Yeah.
All the arguments that he's making are the ones that they put him as the murderer.
That's all that's left. That's the thing. That's what I mean. None of these are saying...
I didn't give you my boots with that kid's blood on it. That's not fair.
None of these are saying that, I wasn't there. Right. I have an alibi. Right. None of that shit at all. It's just
not fair. All the things that make me guilty.
He literally said it's not that bad to cut a toddler's head off.
Truly. That's
not
what he's
excessive.
Doing.
So
what a dick.
Next is the dog.
Yeah.
They tried to say that they were uncertain whether the dog belonged to Monica or her son, and that they had learned later that the dog belonged to Monica's son. I guess Mata had given the dog to her son, apparently, and that Mata would still feed the dog, quote, now and then, but really didn't pay much attention to it because it was the son's dog.
Until it had a baby in its stomach.
Yeah, it's true. Until it had a poor child in its stomach. So what they're arguing is that it was at Monica's residence, which he shared. So there was a reasonable expectation of privacy in the contents of the residence, is what they're saying, which doesn't goddamn matter. They removed the dog from the residence. That was at the direction of law enforcement. So he's trying to make an argument here.
Also at the direction of Monica, who said, I don't want the dog.
I don't give a shit about that. Right. Basically, the court just says, we don't care whose fucking dog it was. It had a kid inside of it. Take a hike. Doesn't matter.
It's dead anyway now.
The shackles. The shackle thing, being shackled in court. What they say is this is interesting. Their decision on the shackles is exactly what a reasonable person would say. They said, quote, moreover, bluntly stated, given the evidence at trial, it is difficult to imagine how seeing Mata in leg restraints would have led the jury to believe Mata more likely to be guilty. Even had the jury believed in Mata's theory of the case, the defense conceded that Mata participated in the dismemberment of the body of a 3-year-old child and fed that child's remains to a dog. Mata was charged with the murder of that same child. Viewed objectively, given the nature of the charges and Mata's uncontested actions, it could not have surprised the jury that Mata was wearing unobtrusive leg restraints.
Right.
No shit. That's he said he cut a kid's head off. The leg restraints are 50th thing they're going to notice about him.
Here's something. If I'm in a jury box and a guy with zero restraints is admitting to dismembering a fucking 3-year-old, I'd be like, I don't feel safe.
Can we put him in restraints, please?
Tie him to the fucking floor, please.
All right. The judge says, all right. All right. So
we will tie him.
We will tie him up. So he tries to argue the definition of kidnapping.
I'd want him on a fucking leash. Like, I want something around his neck tied to the fucking ceiling. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, he tries.
How does he think that doesn't?
This guy's. It's
his
mind-boggling.
lawyer's an asshole.
Unexplainable.
Yeah.
This is unexplainable. This is very much unexplainable.
His fucking arguments are unexplainable.
He tries to argue the kidnapping statute by saying that basically, a person committing kidnapping, if he abducts another or having abducted another, continues to restrain him with intent to do the following. So he has to want to do one of the following: hold him for reward or ransom, use him as a shield or hostage, terrorize him or a third person, commit a felony, interfere with the performance of any government or political function, except, and then there's a few exceptions. Doesn't matter. Because what they end up saying is the judge says, well, the evidence shows that Adams' remains, clothing, and sleeping bag and blanket were all found in your residence. So therefore, you probably took him to your house. The mother didn't say you could take him to your house. Therefore, you kidnapped him, asshole. Sorry.
That is a felony.
That's a felony, and that's not a good one, too. No. Double jeopardy. He's arguing about this is very technical legal shit. We won't even get into this, but he's arguing double jeopardy in the first degree premeditated murder and kidnapping. He's saying that they're the same offense, even though they're not. No. So it's a stupid one he just threw in there to have an extra number. I think just an extra subject.
He didn't like odd or even numbers, whichever. Without that, it made it. You know what I mean?
Then there's also the death penalty issues with the death penalty. There's the constitutionality of the whole deal here. What they end up doing, because I said there's a 2002 decision. Here's what the court says, quote, "We have recently applied the plain error doctrine to correct errors that are viewed objectively less threatening to the integrity, reputation, and fairness of the judicial process than the error presented in the instant case. For example, we have held that the use of the defendant's prior convictions to enhance the defendant's sentence, absent proof in the record that the prior convictions were obtained at a time when the defendant was represented by counsel or had knowingly waived such right in plain error." What they're basically saying here is they didn't do a couple of things right, and you can take apart the legalities of that. But the bottom line is, quote, "Consequently, we must vacate Mata's death sentence due to reversible error in the sentencing proceedings and remand the cause to the district court for resentencing." He was sentenced by a 3-judge panel. In 2002, the ruling said you can only be convicted or sent to death by a jury, not a judge panel. We had this in a case a few times ago.
Okay.
So then everything before that comes up for appeal, and they vacate and they have to redo it again.
Okay.
So they redo the whole thing. They affirm his convictions for first-degree premeditated murder and kidnapping, and affirm the life sentence imposed for the kidnapping. However, the death sentence is vacated, and what they'll have to do now is they'll have to redo it here. So they do a redo of the whole thing. January 2005, they reconvict him of first-degree murder just to get it all out on the table clean. The whole time they're just trying to do he's not to blame, his poor upbringing, blah, 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 that whole thing. Quote, "The father was a drunk who moved his family around. There's no stability. That should be a mitigating circumstance." The mother comes back again and says, he doesn't deserve the death penalty. Adam's mother, Patricia, is there too. Patricia Gomez tells the court that she supports the execution. She says, quote, "He doesn't look remorseful, and I feel no remorse for him. Death is what he deserves." Fair enough. It was determined that what they said is they don't care how bad his childhood was. That had nothing to do with killing a goddamn baby because you wanted to control a lady from not screwing around with her ex-boyfriend.
Right.
That's not okay. They acknowledge that he may have an IQ of 85, an extensive drug history and alcohol, and a bad family, and that the death sentence will have a profound effect on his family. They said, the judge said, quote, "There's no doubt that any sentence Raymond receives will profoundly affect his family. However, those effects on the family are not the fault of the sentence, but are the fault of Raymond's actions."
Yes.
No shit. Blame him if you're upset about it. They have to prove the aggravating circumstance for the death penalty, and this judge says, quote, "It is that aggravating circumstance that the panel of judges consider as establishing in reaching its decision in this case. The facts that in this case show an abduction of Adam, killing him, gratuitous violence, mutilation, relishing the crime, and a plan to make a point on Patricia by all of those acts." Yeah, exactly. So.
No doubt.
And they also said, well, he's been doing really well in prison, so he's a good guy. He said, quote, "The fact that Raymond may adapt well to prison life because he's a fucking criminal is no reason to withhold a death sentence.
No.
Like he'll do fine out of prison too when he's dead."
Jeffrey Dahmer was cleaning shit.
Yeah.
he was mopping.
He says the death penalty is imposed because of what he did to Adam. The depravity shown from these facts stands out and sets this case apart from the others. It shows a mind so bereft of redemption that justice demands a sentence of death.
God, I love that word.
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's you serve me. Fuck off. That is great here.
Bereft is a fantastic word.
Oh, it is. It is. So he is resentenced to death. Fuck off again. He's being sentenced to death. They're escorting him out of the jail, and Bobby Billy is there. And Bobby Billy got to yell at him.
What'd he say?
Bobby Billy said, "You got what you deserved."
All right.
And Mata said, "Maybe," and kept walking.
Really?
That's all he said.
He said maybe?
He went, "Maybe."
He learned a new word.
That's it.
That's how
"All
great
right."
he's doing in
you
prison.
know you expect him to say, "All right." But Bobby Billy learned a few new words. You got what you deserve. That's way more than
That's
all right.
impressive.
Well, he knew you, and you is used twice in that sentence. He knew you from you pregnant. So he had that. But he had to learn deserve. That's a tough one. So...
I always enjoy when somebody's dumber than me.
It's great, isn't it? I love it too.
Because I'm so stupid.
So
it's documented that he's dumb. You know,
he's super dumb.
He's
Yeah,
so
it comes out in court. They're like, he's so stupid, you shouldn't kill him. So,
they're using it as a fucking last ditch effort to save his life.
Unreal, man. So he's appealing again.
Yeah.
He is appealing on the. Saying that. Talking about the reliance on the electric chair and that sort of thing, because that is Nebraska's only way of execution is the electric chair at this point in time.
Wow.
So February 8th, 2008, they make a decision. They talk about how lethal injection is administered in 35 of 36 states that execute condemned prisoners, Nebraska being the only exception.
The only one.
Only one. The judge says, quote, "It is the hallmark of a civilized society that we punish cruelty without practicing it. The evidence shows that electrocution inflicts intense pain and agonizing suffering. Therefore, electrocution as a method of execution is cruel and unusual punishment." They strike down the electric chair in Nebraska.
What?
So at that point, they have no way to
no way to kill him.
No way to kill anybody. Right. I can think of a few ways. I can come up with some ideas. If
Drawn
you guys need.
quarter would be
creative.
fantastic.
I'm very creative. Let's get some medieval shit going with this guy here. So it's a 6-1 decision here, striking down the electric chair. It is called, quote, "has proven itself to be a dinosaur more befitting of the laboratory of Baron Frankenstein than the death chamber of state prisons."
Wow.
I can't disagree with that. That's a really crazy way to fucking to do it.
Pretty intense way to describe
it. Really
though.
Is. It is.
Listen, Bundy went out that way, and seeing his body, I don't disagree. But I don't know, man.
It says something about us at that point, I think.
You might be right.
When we let other people do it. If we let the mother go and stick like a frayed cord up his ass and electrocute him that way, I don't think anyone's got a problem with that. This is what I mean. My opinions are very nuanced. I'm very nuanced on this, man. I have a lot of opinions here. So, the Republican governor here, Dave Heinemann, was pissed off about this. He said that the ruling amounted to judicial activism. Yeah. He was very upset. He said, quote, "I'm appalled by the Nebraska Supreme Court's decision. Today, the court has asserted itself improperly as a policymaker." Blah, blah, blah. He keeps going on.
He went political
on it, which has nothing to do with this here.
I hate that so much.
Yeah,
the political argument, fuck you.
Yeah, we don't need that at all here.
When you're talking about a human life, I get it. When you're talking about furthering your political career, you can eat dicks.
Thank you. Exactly. July 2nd, 2009, he files, Raymond Mata files for post-conviction relief and request for an appointment of counsel. He says he wants to now fight further about shit here. Mata participated.
He wants to be an activist?
Yeah. He said the judge asked him whether the counsel's for, does he want it for a hearing? What does he want it for? And Mata, over the phone, said he believed the motion for an evidentiary hearing was premature because he's not ready. So I don't know. They're like, well, what do you need a fucking lawyer for? you don't need a counsel if you don't even know what you need a counsel for. What are we doing here? Which I don't know how a guy of 85 would know what his next legal step is in the process, but whatever.
He could say evidentiary.
He did not say evidentiary. That was another prisoner who's taken 5 paralegal courses. He wrote evidentiary on there, I believe.
And he stuttered through that word.
Yeah,
it sounded like me reading these fucking producers' names. Fuck. Kept saying, I'm so stupid.
Yeah. Now, he filed that because that was on June 2nd, because just a few days earlier, on May 28th, 2009, Nebraska legislature approves a bill to change the state's method of execution from electrocution to lethal injection.
All right.
They still can't kill anybody because those drugs are not gettable. Right. You can't get those drugs because
you got to be able to buy them.
Yeah, death drugs aren't really.
They're not just abundant around.
Yeah. Now, May 2015, Nebraska legislature votes 32-15 on a measure to abolish the death penalty. The bill was introduced by Senator Ernie Chambers. The governor vetoed the legislation, but the legislature overrode the veto. They needed 30. They got a 30-19 vote to override the veto. So yeah, they had an organization called Nebraskans for the Death Penalty gathered signatures to repeal the bill, including Joe Ricketts, who's one of the owners of the Cubs there. The Ricketts family, they contributed 900.
He lives in Nebraska?
No, but he is a very, very conservative guy. That family is excessively conservative. Yeah, and they love the death penalty. So they contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars to this.
$100,000 to killing people.
$300,000.
That's crazy.
Out of the $900,000.
He contributed a third of it.
Yeah. But November 2016, there's a general election. The death penalty repeal is rejected 61% to 39%, retaining capital punishment in the states. They do have capital punishment there. The last time they've executed anybody because of the electric chair debacle, now they can make whatever laws they want. They can't get those fucking drugs.
In the 80s, right?
Keep making laws. Unless you can come up with another way to kill somebody, it doesn't matter to you. Last time they killed somebody was Robert E. Williams on December 2nd, 1997. 97. So right now, there he is. Mata's sitting in there.
My God.
Hopefully someone will kill him in some way.
For
at some point. I don't care who.
Happen, right?
I don't care who. I don't give a shit.
He's on death row, though. He's so secluded from everybody.
Yeah, but Jesus, I don't even mean that. I just hope anything. I don't care if he anything.
Yeah.
Fuck. Let his appendix burst and wait an hour to give him medical attention. I don't care. I just want this asshole gone because I feel horrible for this goddamn poor 3-year-old. Anything. This poor 3-year-old and his mother, too. Who,
if you're religious, pray to Jesus for horrible cancer to strike this man.
I don't think that's really what Jesus had in mind.
I don't know. I think
he might make an exception in this case if you're a religious person.
He put another kid up there for him to deal with.
Whoa, Jesus. Yeah, and apparently one that cuts up a lot from the beginning, as we said. So, but anyway, poor little Adam Gomez. Feel bad for him. Feel bad for Patricia, the whole family. That's a terrible goddamn story.
I can't believe it.
That might be I've said this how many times now? That might be the worst person we've encountered. Nobody else cut a toddler's head off.
I mean,
nobody.
You might be right because it's just bad. The other ones are
the way he did it.
The ones that like raped children,
terrible,
and they lived like that. Kid's fucked for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
But this kid didn't even get that chance to be fucked up.
No, he didn't even get that chance. And the fact that the thing that gets me the most out of any of it, and this is the cutting up, the feeding, the putting in the fridge, the whole thing, the fact that he sat in the car with his sister and mother having an inside joke with the dog about it. That shows how much fucking sick he was. He got off on the fact that they don't know that he's talking about that. That I can't wrap my head around what a repulsive, reprehensible pile of human shit this guy is.
For serious.
But yes, if you enjoyed that story, you're a sick bastard. But if you enjoyed our telling of the story, you
are a wonderful person.
You're a wonderful person. You can let us know that by going over to iTunes, giving us 5 stars there. It doesn't matter what you say. Just give us the 5 stars. Tell us your favorite hat, like we said. Also, you can go to patreon.com, like these amazing people that we're going to talk about have done these two things.
So many.
You can go to patreon.com/crimeinsports and leave a donation there. Or you can go over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. You want to get a hold of us on social media? That is very easy to do. We're on Twitter @MurderSmall, Facebook.com/SmallTownPod. pod, or you can email us, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Of course, Chicago, December the 14th.
Correct.
Be there at Lincoln Hall. Get your tickets now. But we have some new shows to announce
here. And do that
here.
fast, because they're going so quick.
And make it a thing. Let's make a statement here that, because a lot of people, if you're thinking, I'll see them next time they come to town. Right. If it doesn't do well, there won't be a next time.
That's
so
the truth.
if you want to see it, come out and show support and show with your wallets at the door of a venue what you want to see. Yeah. You don't want to see crap. You want to see what you want to see.
You want to see fucking magicians.
Yeah, they'll keep bringing in things like us that you want to see if you go to the show. You know what I mean? So do that. But more people to go to shows. Boston. We mentioned it, but Boston, it is set February the 18th.
Can't wait to try your lobster.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Boston at Laugh Boston.
That's the one.
February the 18th. It's a Sunday.
Right.
Both shows. Crime and Sports is the early show. Small Town Murder is the late show.
Right.
Get your tickets.
4 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Yes. Get your tickets today. Do that. We'll have a link to that in the show description there. And also a special thing.
What?
Very special. Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
Where are you at Detroit, Michigan? Me, Jimmy, and myself will be in Detroit with Dan Cummins of the Spectacular Time Suck podcast.
Amazing man.
Definitely. He'll be headlining there in Detroit.
Right.
And we will be opening up for him. It's a night of stand-up.
Right.
And if it sells really well in the next 4 weeks, you guys are going to get a special surprise in Detroit. And that would be a late show, and it won't be stand-up.
No, it'll be something special.
Let's just leave it at that, guys.
I'll tease you a little further that it's the plan is to do something really special with the three of us.
Yes.
After that show.
Exactly, and it's podcast centric. So definitely
it's super cool.
You got to buy the tickets for the stand up though, because if that doesn't sell well, then we don't get that show. Basically,
that's honesty.
Whatever. It's a weird venue, and we'll take it.
This business is very murky and gray and cloudy, and nobody ever wants to be honest with their audience. And we'll tell you, if this doesn't sell, we don't do the late show.
That's it, man. That's the way it works. So get out there for the stand up, and you should just want to see Dan anyway. He's an amazing stand up, and
incredible.
We won't embarrass ourselves either, so it's fine. It's all good. Do that, and we have a list here. Jimmy has a list of some of the most amazing goddamn people on earth that we love. Our heroes, our producers. Hit it with us, Jimmy. Who we got?
It's a ridiculous list. This week was truly just so
people are amazing, man.
From
Thank you guys.
From Kelsey sending that fucking gavel.
Yeah, we've used it already.
Yeah, truly. And then Sap House Meadery sent us a bunch of mead. Thank you, guys.
That was so cool.
And it's so good,
thank
too.
You.
That
was awesome.
Fucking
thank
incredible.
You, guys.
Go to saphousemeadery.com and get some of their shit. It's terrific. Happy birthday to Kat.
Hey, happy
in
birthday,
New York.
Kat.
She fucking threatened me on Twitter about telling her happy birthday. So there, you fucking jerk. There's your birthday. Susan Banks, Ashley Stevens. This one is fucking. We're gonna struggle through this together. You guys ready? Kokuganza Akajiga.
Hey,
no,
wow.
That was wrong.
That's way wrong, but I really like your effort. That was you looked excited about it.
Kokuganza, thank you so much for Kokuganza. I think that's it.
Can't thank you enough.
I think somebody wrote that in on purpose to fuck with me.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're positive of it.
I think I would tell you my real name.
No way.
I'd give you something
Never,
horrible.
ever. Tiffany Daniels, Laura Buchanan, Dana Grayson, again. The guy comes through every week, too. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you,
Corey
Dana.
Patterson, Matilda Helu, or Helu? Mathilde, maybe. It's got an H in it. How do you say Matilde? It's got to be Matilde, right? I'm not sure. Joe Jones, Chris Azcaraga, or Azcaraga, right? It's Azcaraga. That's definitely it.
I like the way it sounds better. I like that.
I hope it's that one. Scott Henderson, Mary Foos, Jared Ferguson, Ingrid Stokes sent some more North Korea money.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Awesome.
Casey Tillery, Devin Rhea. That's the worst.
Before the Secret Service investigates her, by the way, she did not send North Korean money. It's Norwegian, but we thought it was North Korean because we're idiots.
It's NOK. It looks like North Korean
hey, cool,
cash.
North Korean money, awesome.
They spell cash with a K.
Some of that Kim Jong-un money.
And then Devin Rhea is it's got to be Devin Ray, right? Otherwise, Devin was called diarrhea for his or her whole life, for sure,
then what
right?
about like people that are named Rhea, like Rhea Perlman? What happens there?
I don't know. She marries Danny DeVito.
Oh, fuck. She's still named Rhea, though. There's just no way to fix that.
It's brutal. She's got to roll over and look at him on the other side of the bed. Sherry Holland, Diana McCann, Jess Landgren, and Chrissy Cristaldi came through again this week.
Thank you.
The two of them.
Jess and Chris, thank you so much. God, you guys, really, we can't thank you enough.
Robert Dye sent a donation and an email.
He's cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Robert.
I like talking to him.
You're good
and
too.
go ahead and email Dan Cummins over at Time
do.
Suck and tell him any of your concerns, because Dan is he's a goddamn student of the world, Dan, and he likes to hear opinions and he likes to hear he's a thinker, so you can hit him up with anything. He'll be happy to hear.
3 things that I really enjoy finding out that of people that like us. They are women, obviously.
Yeah.
Black guys, and then men of the cloth.
Yeah, that's weird. We've had several pastors and priests.
Right.
Yeah, it's
when
odd.
they enjoy you, it's so much fun.
It's weird, especially when what we're doing here.
Right.
He had a thing where the priest said his thing was nothing is offensive as long as it's funny enough, which I thought
it has to be funnier than it is offensive.
Everyone thought like that.
Exactly.
The world would be a better place.
Well, the people listen to this too.
Yeah.
Michelle Seba, John Chiarelli. It's got to. I always say that. It's got to be. It's got to be. Chiarelli. Rena Taylor, Claire Natola, James Hall.
Chicarelli, honestly.
Right. It had no C in there.
Oh, okay.
Or a K. Just
okay.
Chiarelli.
Okay.
Sabrina Evers, James Hall. I think I said that. Holly Listener, she's a listener.
Holly, who's a listener.
You're right. Holly.
All right.
Holly Listener. All right. MCR Camperman, Anthony Arredondo, Rebecca Gammon, Chrissy Ann Castaldi, of course, Siobhan Latchy, or Siobhan. It's Siobhan. Yeah, with that's the weirdest thing. Yeah. Siobhan McClatchy, Lisa White, Sue Bree, Nikki Thatcher, Katie Finn, Tim Ball, who I think is Sausage over there on Snapchat. Thank you,
cool.
Tim. Brett Hinkey, Justin Rogers, Thomas Guitar, Michelle Turner, Juna Leisty, or Leisty, Joona. That's Juna, right?
Juna. Sounds like Juna.
Leisti. Lista or Leisty?
Jesus, I got to see it on
Juna,
paper.
we
I still
appreciate you.
mispronounce it.
All right,
thank you, though.
Senga Robertson Albertine, she upped her donation, so thank you,
Senga.
so much. Joe Hartwell, Dita Vasquez, Helen Collinshaw, Siobhan Dugan. We got another Siobhan.
Wow, look at the Irish
Siobhan,
love us.
Yeah, Siobhan Dugan, thank you. Jane Greaser. So we got an email from a guy named Greg who grew up next to Michael Nunn, who was
yeah, I read that. That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
That was terrific.
And he grew up near him when Bebe's Kids was out.
That's terrific.
Talk about it on Crime and Sports.
Yeah.
Jeff Cutshaw, Amanda Renee Harris, Christine Quattro, Laura Crosby, Alex Marchi. Marchi. He updated. He upped his donation too.
Jeez, thank you.
Kenneth R. Garady, Writings from the Gray. I don't know what that is, but Google Writings from the Gray and find that person and
be nice to them.
Give them whatever business they need.
Yes.
El Camille Anderson, Jared Ferguson, Paul Boyd, Savannah Showalter, Madison Doherty, Steve Hughley, Steve Hughley. I think that's right. Siren Camilla.
Moogly.
Chandel Whitney is a listener, and she has a daughter who's a service member in South Korea.
Oh yeah.
And her wife both listen. So thank you,
awesome.
Thank you, Chandel.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to your family.
Super cool.
And
awesome.
Thank you to both of you over there because you're listening.
No doubt.
Stephanie, silver-haired, middle-aged tuxedo mask. That's somebody that donated.
Right on.
Nicole Cleveland and Joe George. Thank you both. Devin. I write like a fucking toddler. Devin Resnikoff. It's definitely Resnikoff.
Nice.
Nicole Aldrich.
It's a Cold War name right there.
It is.
I like that.
Monica Ortiz, and then Sharifa Alexis RF. Okay, well, I'm starting this over because I'm going to get it.
Let's do it. Nail it.
Sharifa Alexis
No. You took a running start at it. It didn't matter. You still came away
It's
short.
like a pole vault, and I turned around.
No, you stopped as you were. No, never mind. I'm not doing it. You chickened out at the last second, threw the fucking thing to the side. No.
I'm abandoning this shit.
Yeah.
Sharifa Alexis Afria, hey. I think I almost got it. It was close.
I'm sure it's not. But
I almost got it.
That was a good effort.
I got up on the pole, and then I fucking fell backward.
Three pushes off. So you really tried.
Sharifa Alexis Afria, hey. Steve White, Casey God damn it.
You're on a roll there, Jimmy. You messed it up.
Steve White, Casey Paquette, Jason. No, it's Jacob. It's not Jason. Jacob Adams, Alyssa Wells, Adam McWaters.
McWafers. Adam McWafers. That's nice. Every week it's like it's like an octopus, and one more arm comes around you with every weird name. By the end of it, I can't see your face. You're just covered in tentacles.
Adam McWaters, Ginny or Guinea? It's got to be Ginny. Nobody's name is Guinea,
probably
right?
Not,
right.
No.
Ginny Burnt.
Ethnic slur, I doubt it.
And then just Sarah. Somebody just named Sarah.
Thank you,
Somebody
Sarah.
just named Eric. Thank you both.
Thank you.
William Hatchett, Becky D.H., Hallie Gaston, Liam Toner, Wade Brandoner, J. Nathan Couch, Stephen Havens, and Mariki Bergman. Thank you all.
Wow, thank you guys.
Or Marique. I think it's Marique.
Thank you guys so goddamn much for everything. Really,
you guys are the driving force behind this. You listen, you help out, and you're being a part of something that we can't do on our own. So thank you guys so much.
You're making this just a fantastic experience for us, and hopefully it is for you guys. And what if by any chance somebody wanted to get a hold of a fella like you, Jimmy? How could they do that?
If you need to find me to tell me how much of an asshole I am for ruining your name, you can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Find me, play along. I love hearing from you guys. It's fucking incredible.
And I am at Jimmy P is Funny. You can find me there, or get adventurous. Try to spell my last name.
Best of luck.
I suggest just copy and pasting from the show description. There's a sneaky little I in there that you will not be able to figure out where it goes, so don't worry about that. But guys, thank you so much. I know it was a crazy episode this week and a rough one.
Shit.
You guys are all heroes for getting through it. Thank you very much. And God damn it, guys. Until next week, guys. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.